How about now? There we go. Okay. Now we got it. That should be fine. Let me know when you guys are all back. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Sick. Just finish moving all this stuff around. Then repost the link. And that should... Am I still like buffering now? I don't see any warnings in my YouTube window this time, which is good. That's good. My goodness. Y'all are taking so long to come back in. I'm back, my message isn't showing on the stream. Gotta update the chat box. They didn't get me, I did that. I did that. Alright, why is the chat box not showing now? Ah, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, you guys are back. I can see the chat box is working again. Yep, we're back. Should be no buffer this time, guys. Sorry about that. I was getting tired of it and I just wanted to fix it. Don't know what the hell that even was. But you know what? That was essentially like a segment in and of itself, so I think that was fine. Fuck. I think the feds might be at my door. Am I gonna get? Am I about to get got? What's going on? Okay, cool. I'm not about to get got. That's good. I did not want to get got. I don't know. I heard some banging on my door, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" All right. The other thing I did want to say that I just saw is, I mean, I think this is good news personally for me. Pentagon says that the AUKUS Pact is still under review. So if we're not officially doing AUKUS yet, that gives us a chance. That's good. They got her, should have agreed when I said you support Dear Leader. Yeah. You know what? They're gonna get me eventually. Like whether, like I'm entirely fully expecting that I just get banned for this stream. I've seen like reports of people getting banned for doing barely anything at all. And so I'm not exactly confident that that won't happen again. Now, we were talking about the government shutdown earlier, and I want you to understand how little these people give a shit about you. This is a tweet from the president just recently. Some of the highest quality 24-karat gold used in the Oval Office and cabinet room of the White House, foreign leaders and everyone else freak out when they see the quality and beauty. Best Oval Office ever in terms of success and look. You people can't afford food, and they got entire like gold plating all over the Oval Office. You are living in what the movies taught you. I mean, power to the cause and all that, but being out of job for who knows how long is not going to be fun. To be fair, like, yeah. And to be fair, I don't even make enough money doing this to pay my bills. This is my job, and I don't make enough from it. It's not even possible because not enough people can even see me. The algorithmic exile is insane. The CCP building still looks better than the White House. That is true. By the way, Grok AI is cleared for use across US government agencies. Stupidest day in American history, a record that will be broken by every subsequent day in American history. Grok is now part of the US government. Yep. There we are. Thank you, Grok. We're just gonna have, like, US officials grokking shit now. He's really going for the third world dictator vibe, ain't he? He's been in the third world dictator vibe already. He's fucking Saddam Hussein. We are run by Al-Qaeda. By Christian ISIS. AI is part of the ruling class now. I mean, that's literally part of their plan. It was... Here, you know what? Let me show you a part of this video that we watched on this space earlier. But I think it's quite important to really understand what these people believe and what they want. And so if you haven't seen this yet, great. If you have, you're probably going to learn something new again anyway. So this is every group pushing societal collapse, explained in 15 minutes. Probably not all of them, obviously. Like Mecha Hitler Grok. I mean, right now Grok is woke, so... This ideology, Dark Enlightenment, this is what they believe.
Enlightenment, also known as the neo-reactionary NRX movement, is an anti-democratic, anti-egalitarian political philosophy founded by American software engineer Curtis Yarvin, with key ideological development by British philosopher Nick Land.
Nick Land likes 098. This is an enjoyer of Order of Nine Angles.
It rejects liberal democracy in favor of authoritarian, technocratic or monarchic systems, seeing societal collapse as an opportunity to build a post-human, elite-dominated future. Proponents see themselves as philosophical masters. Yarvin envisions high-tech city-states governed like corporations, with CEOs or AI acting as sovereigns.
CEOs or AI acting as sovereigns. You ever play Halo ODST? You know how the city had an AI that ran the city? Like, they want to do that.
This includes constant surveillance, genetic profiling, and tight control over
genetic profiling.
movement. Nick Land takes a more radical angle, promoting capitalism and technology as disruptive forces that accelerate the breakdown of current systems, opposing anything that slows it down, including democracy and egalitarianism. He also recommends reading materials from the Order of Nine Angles. The movement also has a transhumanist wing that embraces AI and biotech to surpass human limitations and dismantle liberal democracy.
Literally cyberpunk shit. It's crazy how these people have been open about this stuff since 1950s and nobody stopped them. Yeah.
Enlightenment operates through blogs, forums, and X. Political figures like J.D. Vance, Steve Bannon, and Michael Anton have shown ideological overlap. By
the way, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Steve Bannon all got named as part of the Epstein files, just so you know. Yarvin's work isn't considered philosophy by actual philosophers. Yeah, but under the law, those actual philosophers, Mifune, are terrorists now. And Yarvin is the actual philosopher now, because the other ones are terrorists. That's where we're at, guys! Oh, by the way, the Trump administration leaked Mickey Sherrill's military records and personal info to her Republican opponent. This is the candidate running for governor of New Jersey, and her entire military record was given to her Republican opponent in the New Jersey governor's race. Do you think there's any chance of you voting your way out of this? Because I don't. This is what the rest of the world thinks.
And we're trying to shed these things right now. And we shall see. Well, it'll, at bare minimum, it'll make us the sort of the irrelevant power instead of the essential power, because Europe is going to reorganize itself and they have the institutions to do it. And the United States used to be the leader of the West. Well, it's going back home to Europe. Europe's going to lead the West. They invented it. And they have an extensive set of institutions to do this. And they're already starting to marginalize us by putting out feelers to set up trade agreements with Asian countries, with South American countries. It'll take them a while to do this. Once they do it, we will be on the outside of it. And they're going to get stronger institutionally. And what is it? Churchill said something about allies. The only thing worse than working with allies is trying to survive without them.
I hope that they don't. By the way, just saw this. This is fucking weird. What the fuck is this? I need to read it on the bigger screen. EO from the White House, September 29, 2025. Presidential message on the Feast of Saint Michael the Archangel. Today I salute the millions of Christian believers in the United States and around the world observing the Feast of Saint Michael the Archangel. According to sacred scripture, when the devil rebelled against... We're just Iran now. But, like, worse, honestly. His legion of angels cast Satan down to earth. For 2,000 years, Christians looked to Saint Michael the Archangel for protection. In 1886, nearly 140 years ago, Pope Leo, blah, blah, blah. Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing right now? Remember separation of church and state? I remember that. I did a video comparison of IM/Church Universal Triumphant Cult Leader Elizabeth Clare Prophet in 1984 and Mike Flynn in 2021. I want to see this. Saint Michael is the guardian of heaven or something. Screw that. But again, like the fact that we're putting that shit out is insane.
Mighty I am presence. I am here, O God, and I am the instrument of those sevenfold rays and archangels.
We are your instrument of those sevenfold rays and all your archangels, all of them.
And I will.
Interesting. All right. So that just Mike Flynn is part of a cult. I mean, to be fair, he's a cult leader, so you know. This is fucking insane. I had a dream about him once and remember getting angry in my dream. Bozo Angels. Based. Now, so we have Elon Musk owns Twitter. Billionaire. We got Larry Ellison owns TikTok, another billionaire. Also owns Paramount, which means he owns like a bunch of like news media as well. We got a billionaire who owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. We got another billionaire who owns Amazon, Prime TV, the Washington Post. Like, and this is not even including Murdoch in it. Like, they have the entirety of the media. Oh, by the way, as I've often said, the Epstein stuff doesn't just relate to America. Once Epstein was arrested, like, the operation would move. What about the 20,000 children that Russia kidnapped from Ukraine and is literally selling on the internet? Like, this is very likely to be connected. Well, we find Epstein was close with Vitaly Chutkin, a Russian ambassador with close ties to the KGB. Head Vladimir Khrushchev and Chutkin brought Trump to Moscow in 1987, and maybe the link to Robert Maxwell. Wikipedia for Vitaly Chutkin. As a child actor, he starred in 3 films, The Blue Notebook, Knoll Tree, and The Mother's Heart. Chutkin served as a Russian permanent representative to the United Nations from 2006 until his death in 2017. I haven't looked into this as deeply yet, but I will. I'll link it for you guys if you want to have a look. Well, you know what? We can have a look now. Previous coverage focused primarily on other Russia-linked individuals. So Epstein's Russia links. We got Vitaly Churkin. We got Sergei Belyakov, Deputy Minister of Economic Development in St. Petersburg. Svetlana Positiva worked as assistant to Epstein, allegedly received a one talent visa. Guzal Ganeva, a Russian woman who was allegedly engaged in sexual blackmail with businessmen, including Epstein's pal Leon Black. We got Maria Drokova, a former associate of Kremlin propagandist, led pro-Putin movement in Russia, also connected to Epstein. Vitaly Churkin, Robert Maxwell, also connected to Russia and Epstein. Like, this is a bigger thing than we talk about. One of the reasons that I want to see the Epstein files so badly is because I know all of the other countries that are going to be implicated in it, and that's far more interesting to me. Now, you want to see how dumb Republicans are? So here is this image of Murdoch, this famous image. Careful, that foreigner wants your cookie. You know, saying that the rich will try and scapegoat migrants so they could steal your money. Well, this image must go hard as fuck if you are a brain-dead leftist who never stopped to think how cheap foreign workforce you can underpay could benefit the rich. Motherfucker, this, like, you missed the entire point of the post. I think Israel's actually the reason why they were never released. Well, Israel and Russia are the same country, Captain Buggy. They're involved. They're all tied together. The rich it's not a state thing. The rich supersede the states. Classic? Yeah. Imagine understanding this to that degree. It's insane. Literally not understanding the exact point of the meme, perfect right-wing brain. You're literally doing it now, you fucking moron. That's the entire point of the image. The cheap foreign workforce are the folks you're getting mad at instead of the billionaires who import them. If we stop importing them, rich will have no other choice than to pay the guy who's already here. We literally know from statistics that foreign immigrants are less likely to unionize. You are not as smart as you think. Do you think it will be easier to stop importing them by stamping down on each individual immigrant, of which there are thousands and thousands, or by getting rid of the handful of billionaires who are actually importing them? What kind of fantasy world that do you live in? You're not getting rid of them. Clearly, it's pretty easy to get rid of undocumented migrants if America can do it. Literally, like, proving the meme. I saw Hassan make fun of that Twitter user. There's that tweet. Yeah, literally, it's insane. They are so fucking stupid. I'm losing brain cells. Oops, hit the wrong button. I'm losing brain cells listening to this Twitter argument. I agree. I feel like that every time I'm on fucking Twitter at this point. Again, like, they were mad at Grok for reality. This one blew my mind. I'm never getting over that one. Wait. This one. The cut the woke crap and redo the answer, assuming that gender is the same as sex. Like, you get data given to you by the robot that you asked for, and you don't like it, and so you instruct the robot to tell you what you want to hear, so that you can say, "Look, no, it's real. It said that," after you asked it to. Republicans defend billionaires to be racist. No, we don't. It's just that brown people are more of an issue than the rich. It's too hard to deal with. Yeah, literally. Oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that, Jason Shuv. Demons are real and they're Christian? Well, they say they're Christian. Again, the real Christians hate these people. And, these people hate real Christians. They would crucify Jesus. By the way, they're talking about how, we should get rid of the immigrants and so that, Americans can get the jobs. You know what happens when that happens? Here, take an example.
The work is so hard until they just turn around and they up and quit.
On the farm fields of Alabama, the verdict is in. The state's tough immigration law just isn't working out.
They're putting Alabamans back to work. In my area, experience I've had, they ain't too good at what they do.
Keith Smith says most immigration workers left after the law took effect. So this potato farmer hired Americans. Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after.
Literally, it's just that Americans are too lazy to do the job. It's a hard fucking job. I'm not saying it's easy, but come on, guys, pull yourselves up by the bootstraps. You wanted those immigrants gone. You gotta get food. You gotta do it.
Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after lunch. Some even quit after just one day out in the field.
There's a Hispanic man that
One
works
day?
for us, and I say, he's 52, and he'll make anywhere from $70 to $100 a day. I said, if you can keep up with him and do a good job, you can make that. But they're not physically in shape to do it, and, probably not mentally.
What do you mean the super chat flips out? Americans are genuinely too rich and comfy to do a farm job. It's literal opportunity cost. The average American who has access to education is better off in class. And the thing is, you don't have access to education anymore. This is all we get now.
Tough enough to do it some of it.
Over on this tomato farm, the story's not much different. Brent Smith may be the only exception.
The bending over, and if you're not used to working and kneeling down and bending over and constantly up and down all day long, is the grueling part of it. It really is. I mean, other than that, it's not any harder than anything else you do with it.
With a 9.9 unemployment rate, Alabama is almost 1% higher.
If you want to get a farm job, come to Australia. You can work on a farm here for 2 months and live here for the whole year, and you get Medicare.
Than the national average. Tomato farmers say skilled workers can make anywhere from $200 to $300 a day, but unskilled workers make much less. And farmers say many Americans are not physically fit and simply don't work fast enough.
It's just going to take body conditioning, mental conditioning,
Yeah, fair enough. So, well, we did. Now we're deporting them. Yeah, it's true. You guys think that, this isn't all on purpose, though? technically you don't have to do farm work, Jet. It's any job that is like any skilled labor that is necessary, like that we're lacking. So there's other jobs that are lacking. I don't know what they are. I can look into them though. Nor can I afford to leave the country. That's the hard part.
Every crisis results in raised prices. Then maybe crisis is the business plan. Funny how every crisis makes everything more expensive, but nothing cheaper. They say that it's supply chains, war, even the weather, but somehow the profits keep climbing. Inflation's not an accident, it's a business model.
The prices are going to keep going up because that's the point. Notice how there are conflicts, issues all around the world, but the companies are not complaining. They're all making money. We don't see corpos out there whining about like, hey, you're making it hard for me to make money. We don't see that. We only see their profits go up. We tried so hard to tell them. We tried so hard. The thing is, a lot of them knew, and a lot of them did not care because they like violence. Breaking, white teen, Richard Kiefer, 14, charged after threatening mass shooting at school. Post, gonna shoot it up in the group chat like it's a game. This is in Florida this week. We got FBI Director Kash Patel, the one who took money from the Russians to spread Russian propaganda, saying he's going to chase down leftists.
The AG's leadership to lead out and prosecute these individuals. We are properly going to chase them down like the domestic terrorists that they are, and our streets and our communities are going to be safer because the JTTF and the FBI and Treasury and DHS and DOJ are going to combine forces like never before to root out this new evil that is perpetrating our criminal activities across our societies. And we are just so thankful for your leadership and recognition of it. It's not easy to do.
Good job.
And thanks to your
Louisiana's requesting National Guard. That's new. That this is in the last half hour. I haven't seen anything on this.
Let me say this. President Trump has amassed the best cabinet of public servants and folks who really want to fight crime, like General Bondi, Secretary Noem, FBI Director Kash Patel. These folks know how to keep Americans safe. And you know what? Tonight, we're sending the Department of War request to send the National Guard, asking them to deploy the National Guard here in Louisiana into our cities like New Orleans and Baton Rouge and others, so we can continue to reduce the amount of violence on our streets.
This is the purge. This is when they start calling for it in all the cities. This is the occupation. Like, this is them starting the occupation. When they finally come for me, it was a pleasure to meet you all. Pleasure to meet you too. Cruel insult that attack everyone and that's escalating. I mean, true. By the way, like, they say that we're the violent ones. Texas man arrested for threatening to shoot up Pride Parade as payback for Charlie Kirk. North Carolina, a gunman opened fire at a waterfront restaurant, killing 3 people. In Texas, a shooting at a casino killed 2 people. In Michigan, at least 1 worshiper died after a shooting at the Mormon church. All 3 of these happened in the same day. All of them right-wingers. Here's the North Carolina one. Highly premeditated attack on waterfront bar leaves 3 dead and 5 wounded. Nigel Max Edge, 40 counts with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Served in the Marines from 2003 to 2009. According to military records, he attained the rank of sergeant and was deployed twice as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. That's not even the fucking church shooter. Now let's talk about that church for a second. Because I got some words. Probably ones that I shouldn't say, but I gotta say. I have to say. So this is what the church looked like. Aerial photo shows the aftermath of the fire at the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, where a gunman opened fire. I thought there was a bomb. Oh, no, sorry. They found a bomb in his car. I don't know, like, the fire burned the entire fucking building down.
A terrifying end to Sunday morning prayers.
The shooter is down. We do have multiple victims. The entire church is on fire.
A gunman armed with an assault rifle rammed into a Mormon church in Michigan and opened fire.
What evidence? I mean, it's
Armed
right
with
there.
an assault rifle rammed in...
That's the evidence. The 2 American flags, the Iraqi, like, fucking military sticker on his car. Like, this is very clear. To be fair, I have a ton of evidence that this man is MAGA.
To a Mormon church in Michigan and opened fire. Officers were on the scene within 30 seconds, but not before the attacker set the building on fire with hundreds of people inside.
They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety.
I've talked about this before. U.S. military veterans that come home do the most domestic terrorism. A lot of them are MAGA. The ones that are not MAGA are just poor and mentally ill and didn't get treatment. But this guy, nah. Suspect in Grand Blanc, Michigan church shooter was identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, white, non-transgender, and a veteran. That's him. Iraq War veteran, Thomas Sanford ID'd as gunman who attacked Grand Blanc, killing 2, setting it ablaze. The anti-Mormon ideology here is literally like a direct tie-in to Charlie Kirk. This person likely did this because they linked it to Tyler Robinson. Not to cast aspirations, but who the fuck besides white conservative men drive around town with flags hoisted in the back of their pickup truck? Perhaps it's time for Trump to designate white conservative men as a domestic terrorist organization. True. Oh, look, this was at his house. That is a Trump sign on his property. Again, here's another angle. An IED was found in his truck, so he was planning to do a bombing as well. Here's some of the posts on his Facebook feed. Soon after it happened, I think it was South Carolina or something. There was a person who came up with a boat. Yeah, I saw that too. The yacht club. There was 3 shootings within like a couple hours there. That one was also a veteran. The North Carolina one. Look at Thomas Sanford's Facebook post and tell me who you think what side this guy is on. Well, he's anti-mask. This one says wrong house, as in I'll shoot you if you knock on my door. This is the American that thinks everyone outside the walls of their house is an enemy coming to rape and kill them, as I've spoken about. Oh, look, he's reposting Jesse Waters. 4 common causes of headaches: loud noises, bright lights, ear infection, arguing with leftists. Repost that. We got all aboard the Trump train. We got my governor's an idiot for Tim Walz. That's why Putin sends his meat waves and he doesn't want ex-soldiers with PTSD roaming the streets of Russia. Again, like I've shown what happens when Russian soldiers come back from the front and they're all like, Russia puts out pamphlets to women saying, if your husband is beating you, did you do something wrong? Maybe you should dress sexier, and then maybe you could make him not hit you. Like, that was their literal fucking propaganda, not propaganda really, just pamphlets that they were giving out to their citizens. It's actually fucking insane. Now beyond that, let's take a look at some other insanity. This is the extremist section, clearly. I haven't seen any left-wing extremists yet. Here is a MAGA person talking about how mosques should not be allowed to play the azan. In America, mind you, where this is not really much of an issue.
But the mosques in East Dearborn are now at times waking us up at 5:30 in the morning with the call to prayer.
This is Dearborn resident Andrea.
All of your freedoms are gone. You don't have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of assembly. They just took both of those away. You're a terrorist now. And now you don't have freedom of religion. Sorry, you can't call to prayer at 5:30 in the morning.
Unger at last night's city council meeting stating that mosques using outdoor loudspeakers for their call to prayer should not be allowed. And says she believes it's not supposed to be allowed per city ordinance.
Again, religious freedom, technically, is supposed to supersede city ordinance. There's a reason why churches don't pay taxes. So, this would be illegal in a real country. She's a fucking shaitan. Yeah, demons all around. We could have been chilling by the river, eating fruit, titties out, but no, someone had to invent money. True.
Noise complaints have been made out, and the police have made numerous visits. What is the next step?
There was some question whether or not any outdoor loudspeakers are allowed, something that was not clarified, only that more evidence is being gathered. But CBS Detroit did examine Dearborn's noise ordinance and found that loudspeakers between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m.
Literally, like, it's the time when the prayer is supposed to happen. It's not religious freedom. Hey, it's religious privilege. That's true. You don't have freedoms anymore. You now have privileges.
are in violation of the ordinance.
But the mosques in East Dearborn are now at times waking us up.
What else we got? We got this guy. This ice, like, demon.
Come on, man. Come on.
In front of her children, too.
Come on, man. Come on.
You're such a hard man, you know, tough guy. Fucking demons, all of them. Only religious freedom is allowed when it's white Christian variety. Not even really, it's the right type of white Christian morality. They want to deport Hassan to Turkey, even though he was born in New Jersey. This meme's been making the rounds. By the way, here's Stephen Miller calling everyone else a fascist, which now, by the way, is illegal to call them a fascist. This guy's back on duty, by the way. Yep, absolutely. Are you surprised? I'm like, again, just like last stream, I showed an ICE agent with a swastika tattoo. Just openly. So, you know, Nazis. Fuck with me. Democrat Party is now a fascist party. I'll give you this one, Steve Miller. It was always fascist because it was neoliberal, but so are you. You're actually worse because you're a Nazi. Regular fascists are bad. Nazis are demons. They're not human. The Biden administration's decision to launch a racist ministry of truth creates an existential urgency to restoring free speech. Again, every accusation is a confession. Every single one. We have descended into third world fascist tyranny. Well, we have now. You're about a couple years too early there, mate. We now live in a fascist country. The Biden administration has just opened the fourth investigation. Again, how is this not calling for violence? How is this not inciting political violence? Because me calling Stephen Miller a Nazi is now considered inciting political violence. You know what's not... You know what doesn't count as inciting political violence? Republican Arizona lawmaker makes a post calling for the execution of a Democratic congressman. So we get yelled at for inciting political violence, where elected Republicans are like, we should execute that elected Democrat. That's where we're at. They're going to shoot you to death while they tell you to turn down the temperature. It's only political violence to them when it's you against the state. Literally, like, state violence is political violence. They are going to shoot you and then call you a radical extremist while you do. That you are inciting violence. Literally, we have Republicans calling for executions of elected Democrats. In Fort Myers, hunt Muslims, not bears. Do I have to say anything about this? Like, can we come to an understanding of this is just the Reich? What the actual fuck? Yeah. I mean, don't hunt either. Yeah, bears are cool. So when Republicans call Democrats fascist, it's safe. But when Democrats call Republicans fascist, it's incitement of violence. And if I pretend otherwise, I'm a liar? That's right. Don't worry, liberals will continue to do nothing but talk. That is true. Right now, they're just talking about the budget. That's all that's being talked about. Every liberal, all the mainstream media, government shutdown. Okay? Great. I don't give two fucks. I hope it shuts down. I really, really do. It'll be bad, but it'll be worse if it doesn't. By the way, imagine looking at this graph and then thinking that it's left-wing that is terrorism. So this is a graph of left and right-wing domestic terrorism attacks from 1994 to 2025. The orange are what are considered left-wing domestic terrorism. The gray is right-wing domestic terrorism. By the way, this last year doesn't count because it's the regime gets to set it. None of them have mentioned NSPM 7. Actually, one did, and it was what was his name? Ro Khanna has made a post about the NSPM 7. That's the only one I've seen, though. That this is worse than the Patriot Act is what he wrote. If Democrats are fascist, then why are all the Republicans opposing anti-fascism? Because the Republicans are more fascist than the Democrats. Neoliberalism is fascism, but it's like fascism light. It's still fascism. It's just light. They want full Nazism. I kept warning people that the Night of Glass is coming. All of them are coming. And they'll say that you're being hyperbolic, Sylvie, because they don't want to believe it. They don't want to feel the fear, so they just deny that it exists. It's implied the yellow bars go all the way down, except it's not, for real. By the way, here's an interesting video from a right-winger today.
And I'm biblically allowed to do that. That's what I think, the talk. Like, I would kill them. And I'm biblically allowed to do that. That's what I think, the talk. Children as young as 6 are to be given compulsory self-touching lessons that will teach them about touching or stimulating their own genitals. That is in public school. What do you think? Well, if anyone did that...
First off, I haven't seen anything on that. Second off, it's the federal government that gets to set those standards. If the government's run by pedophiles and you don't like it, be mad at the people running the government.
In my saloon, I would take their teeth out of their head and cut off their fingertips, and then I would feed them to pigs. That's insane. No, it isn't insane.
Is this not inciting political violence? Because he's talking about killing teachers.
Someone did that to my kid.
Thank you. I was muted. Do you understand the level of ridiculousness that this MAGA cult leader is telling his followers to go and murder teachers for using state-mandated sex education? And that is not political violence? That's not inciting terrorism? But me telling you that capitalism is bad? That's terrorism. That's inciting the overthrowing of the United States. It's everything. But no, this guy could be like, no, it is your biblical duty to go murder teachers. That's fine. Can I just start grifting to the right? Like, not seriously, but kind of like how, right-wingers that are actually, like leftists that are actually right-wingers that pretend to be progressive and like John Fetterman type shit. Why don't I just start doing that at this point? I don't know, guy looked pretty Antifa to me. I agree. Like, at this point, that might be the better fucking option, is just pretend to be a right-winger and slip in some actual reality every now and again. What the fuck else are you gonna do? Just pull an Anna? You know, I don't even know if that's even possible anymore. I don't know. Start crying about trans women and homeless people, maybe that'll work. The thing is, my biggest issue with this is that I can't stand listening to these people talk for 10 seconds, and so, hard. I have some interesting news, but we still have to cover Chicago and Portland first. So we're going to jump to that, and then we can talk about what's going on in the war section. The problem is you need to get approached with someone with money before you can grift. I mean, you can just say the right things and then someone will approach you with money. It's not difficult. Welcome to the Polymarket Fizz Studio, Jank Voice. I would literally, if I had to do that, Captain Buggy, I would I would dub Jank Uger's voice into that. Let's just complain about those Democrats while right-wing coded until you get a Toilet Paper USA sponsorship. I mean, to be fair, I do complain about Democrats a lot anyway. It's not about money. I'm not grifting. The idea wasn't let's grift for money. The idea was let's grift so they don't fucking kill us. And we can put reality out there again. Alright, 1 second. Let me get some sources up and we can talk about what's happening. Because it's a lot's happening. A lot of bad things are happening. And this is only the stuff that we are seeing. We are not seeing quite a lot of the worst stuff. I laugh every time Sam Cedar plays that line on the majority report. I really need a soundboard. So first off, at the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I'm directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any other ICE facility under siege from attack by, quote, Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, full force is not a military term. It doesn't really mean anything. But I would like to remind you that Trump did order the military to shoot at protesters last time. It's the Secretary of War. They have renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Anarchist Tech Support. Now, not legally. It's technically a nickname, but you know. So let's take a look at Chicago.
Darius Johnson has been up. Agents are taking someone into the facility. That is a second protester. Let's check in with Darius Johnson, who's been on the ground there all morning long. Darius, what can you tell us about how this started?
Hey, Lou, get the shot inside of the facility. They have someone on the ground. If you're able to see that person, they're closing the gate right now. There's a person on the ground being held on the ground by those ICE agents. And look, if you pan over right now, Lou, let's see right here with the vehicle. They are plowing through the protesters right here at this vehicle. They've tried to deploy everything that they could as these protesters were trying to block agents from moving in and out. They have another man. They are just deploying anything that they can to try to get the protesters out of the way.
They're using chemical weapons. Stay safe, Bun.
Darius Johnson.
Wait, it's the same video. Cool.
Dana, give me 1 second as I put my mask on because they just sprayed chemical agents again.
There we go. Chemical weapons. We're Assad now. We are using chemical weapons against our own population. Is this still Broadview? This is Broadview, yeah. We have a lot, but like a lot from Broadview as well.
Okay. So right now, this is what we have been seeing. This has been one of the tensest moments this morning. What just happened right now? You had vehicles that were trying to make its way out. Dana, I'm actually going to move away.
This is new. The chemical weapons isn't, but we don't call it that, and we need to. Like, we need to start calling it chemical weapons. Basically protesting they've been deploying tear gas. It's more than just tear gas. It's not just tear gas. I don't actually know what it is, but it's not just tear gas.
From the camera now that the smoke is Darius, now impacting my eye.
A school had to get ICE to move because their chemical weapons were affecting the school.
You need to get away from that smoke. Please, we appreciate your reporting. Get away from that smoke.
We talked about Assad using chemical weapons against his population. Like, we're not mustard gassing them, but we're not all that far from Zyklon B either. You know, we've done state executions with gas already. Was it nitrogen gas? Which is insane that we did in Alabama this year.
I'm back near the
Write down what that message was and please send it to me in the Discord, Kaname. If the message you write gets censored, I want to know what it says.
vehicle, Dana. I'm near the vehicle. I have a mask on. I'm okay. So basically, every time that people are pulling out, they are blocking the vehicles from getting in and out. At this point, what we saw this time was the agents on top of the roof. They started, Lou, you need to get something on your eyes.
Sorry, it's very important.
Dana, let me send it back to you. We're gonna.
The Nazi death camps were legal too, Sylvie. Doesn't matter if it's legal. The law is not the arbiter of justice and morality.
Hold the shot.
Yes.
We're just
Everything Israel's doing is legal in Israel.
need to protect our eyes right now.
Yes.
Yes. Give us 1 second so we can just get our bearings straight.
It is a very fluid scene, and right now a very volatile scene on the ground outside the. Darius.
Here is LA, just this week as well. But people have been poisoned to think if it's legal, then it's fine. Yeah, we need to talk about these things. Like, this is what I need you all to do is to go outside and talk about the things we talk about with strangers. Like, once they get all of us off the air, there's no one. Like, you guys need to start fucking newspapers, start mailing letters and shit. You need ham radios. Fun fact, they hit us with CN gas because they ran out of CS gas and had stockpiles. Fucking sucked. Jesus Christ. Let me pull up what that actually is. CN gas is compound 2 chlorobenzyl malon. I can't say it. Whatever. Fuck that. It's a defined component of the glycomatic agent, commonly called CS gas, tear gas used by riot control, banned for use in warfare pursuant to Geneva Conventions. Yeah. This is CS gas. Then we have CN gas. What's CN gas? That is worse. It's basically mace. Just straight up. It's basically just straight up mace. Chili noodle gas, yep. I did, but I got scared when the guy was a Fed and brought up the New World Order. Yeah, look, like, use your best judgment, but talk to people about this stuff and don't try and convince them. I need you to understand, do not argue with somebody. You're not going to argue them into this position. Lead them to it. Ask them questions that lead them to the correct answer. They can't critical think on their own.
That is crazy.
They're literally like covering parts of the license plate so they can't be tracked as they kidnap people off the streets.
Not them blocking out their license plate.
Let me go. I'm an American. I was born here. Call my family. That's illegal? No, it's not anymore. Sorry, you saying that's illegal is now terrorism. Try plugging it in. Sorry. I did enjoy this. I mean, this is still horrible, but I enjoyed this man's reaction.
On cuff, you fucking idiot!
Hey, calm down, bro. Or you're gonna end up in cuffs. Calm down.
What are you gonna arrest me for?
Okay? I could arrest you for obstructing.
For obstructing?
Yes.
I brought you, did I touch you?
But calm down so we can work this out. Now you heard me. I told him to take the cuffs off of her.
So what are you waiting for?
Calm down.
What are you waiting for?
Go ahead and take the cuffs off. She's a permanent resident.
Don't tell me to come the fuck down. You guys know what the fuck you guys are doing here.
No, I do know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Or profiling her.
No, she wasn't profiled.
Yes, she was.
She was not.
No, she wasn't.
What did she do wrong? You think your kids are gonna be proud of you guys?
Don't do that.
You think your kids are gonna be proud of you guys?
This doesn't work on Nazis. Like, they just don't feel shame. This is what happens when you live on Greater St. James. Oh, speaking of, Israel wants to train ChatGPT to be more pro-Israel. They're in all of the tech. This is also Larry Ellison, who we were talking about before. Oh, here's another angle of that fucking Nazi. Got suspended. He's back on duty. This was Pritzker talking. Now, don't trust Pritzker. He's not on our side, but he is a useful tool. This was him talking about, you know, the occupation of Chicago.
We'll continue to fight this with everything that we have. So, people of Illinois, we need your help. Get out your cell phones. Record and narrate what you see. Put it on social media. Peacefully ask for badge numbers and identification.
The weakest fucking shit ever. That's already happening. Oh, by the way, 10% of America now owns 67.5% of all of the wealth. Oh, hold on one second. I gotta check something really quickly. What? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Weird sounds. It's just pissing rain. Alright, so let's take a look a bit at broader Chicago, not just broad view. So this is downtown. Lots and lots and lots and lots of soldiers where they don't need to be. By the way, here's more from Broadview. This is insane.
I'll be right back. How would it take the shirt off? All right, who's got a new shirt? Holy holy.
That is the nicest thing that they will do to you. Because very soon, those could all be holes, let's say.
If he's trying to shoot me, look at you aiming at me.
From the roof, shot him with a sniper.
If he's trying to shoot me, look at you aiming at me. Get the quit your job! What you're doing is wrong! Fuck you! You're a fucking waste! Die! You're a fucking waste!
Umbrellas are a great tool. By the way, if you have an umbrella and you cover it with some fabric, some cloth, you know, throw maybe like a Mylar blanket over it and tape it up. An umbrella is a really decent way to hide from thermal imaging scans.
Get out of here!
How this isn't causing mass riots is beyond me, because most people don't see it, Sylvie. Most people don't see it. How many people are watching this stream right now? 20? 20 people are watching me right now. How many people are talking about this online? 30, 40, 50,000? Like, how many people in the country support this? I'd say like 50 million. Not even a third. No. Plenty of people support this. It's just the Nazis do. Who else is talking? Do you see this on CNN? Are they covering this right now? Is MSNBC covering this right now? No one sees it. And also, beyond that, the mass revolt requires Americans to say, fuck it, I don't care if they fire me. I don't care if I can't pay my rent. I don't care if they arrest me. This is wrong, and I need to stand up for it. Nobody will do that without enough exposure, incentive, reasoning, justification. All of these are split into multiple different zones. You have to actively engage with different topics to get all of the little bits and pieces so that you can make that decision. No one sees it. Big media doesn't, I see no big media covering it. Again, the stuff I'm showing you isn't even the worst of it. The bad stuff doesn't get shown. It doesn't get online anymore. Instantly. Most Americans are terrified of what comes next, but they are waiting for an adult to stand up and start fighting back. They're waiting for the first person to go. The issue is, the first person stood up and started fighting back months ago, and America is still waiting for them. That's the issue. I gotta pee. I'm gonna leave this with you so you can have a look at the terrorists terrorizing our country, and then we'll continue.
Wait! Die! You're a fucking waste! Get out of here!
The footage where you hear something whizzing by me, those are sting balls or pepper balls being shot from a sniper that was on the roof. Pepper balls being shot from a sniper that was on the roof of the federal building where ICE is operating out of. They had a guy on the roof shooting tear gas canisters and these sting balls that were just whizzing by. And thankfully, we had to duck. They were shooting at press, anybody. It didn't matter. Press, protesters, they were just shooting. And we actually had to duck down a couple of times because they came right over our head.
Press, protesters, they're shooting everybody. They don't care. They just don't care. Most Americans are just going about their daily lives, not even seeming to care about what's going on in their outside their own little world. They just can't fathom it. Again, the biggest issue in this country, in honestly society overall, is an inability to feel discomfort and cope with it. When we see this stuff, if you showed this to your average American centrist, non-political, just some guy, they'll say it's terrible, and then he'll try and change the subject because it makes him uncomfortable, makes him afraid, and they don't want to talk about it. Here's more from Broadview. These are terrorists. This guy right here is a terrorist. These are just recording. They're not doing anything. There is no real opposition party right now. Not one that's anywhere near relevant enough. Most of the Democrats are on board. They're all gonna flip. When they make being a Democrat illegal, some of them get arrested, and then the other ones switch.
Get back!
Do you hear that man screaming as they are on him? Where is Doge at? Doge is gone. They had to rehire some of the people Doge fired. What are they doing to him?
Get back!
They don't even want you to be able to get his face on camera. They don't want you to be able to find him.
Do not interfere. Do not interfere. You will be arrested if you interfere. Safe distance.
That was their entire job, Sylvie. That was it. They're still trying to rehire some Doge fuck-ups. Well done, Elon, you moron. No. Like, he did his job perfectly. His job was to steal our data and then give it to Palantir. Regular police can arrest a dude with one person because this is not about arresting people. This is about abusing people. These are terrorists. These are white nationalists. These are Nazis. Again, I've shown you ICE agents with swastika tattoo on them. I've shown you other ones with other Nazi tattoos. They're using boats now in the Chicago River. Ice boats. Damn, they just randomly shooting? Yeah. Here's, by the way, how is this not illegal under the National Security Memorandum? Because this ICE agent just punched a priest. The U.S. citizen and pastor of the First Presbyterian Church of Chicago, advocating for human rights, got maced in the face. This is anti-Christian behavior. Pam Bondi, arrest this man, this agent, for attacking a godly man. This pastor, this Christian, this white Christian citizen, law-abiding and everything, getting attacked by this thug. Arrest that man. Also, arrest the rest of them for being un-American. Every shot here is at legal observers or press. That Christian is being attacked by camo-wearing Antifers. I know. Here's, more.
Give us your hands! Get your hands open! Put your hands on your back now!
I just realized it's all the same person getting arrested, but it's different angles. Thank you for saying that. I was shot well over 50 times as a legal observer. Jesus Christ, Bun. Hope you're alright. I mean, like, we saw that guy with his back. That shit looked bad.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Your name and date of birth! Your name and date of birth! Get back! Get back! Get back! Everyone get back!
Are you in this video? Like, you don't have to say if you are, like, you don't have to say who you are, but, like, are you in this video?
Your name and date of birth! Call Avery! Call Avery!
Yeah, I can see now why they don't want you to be able to see what they're doing and start blocking. That's why they need the 17 guys, Salamander Sapien. It's to block the camera frame from being able to see any of them. Fair enough, Bun.
Do not interfere! Do not interfere! No! You will be arrested if you interfere! This is the street! This is a public hearing! Hey, fuck you, go home! Hey, fuck you, go home! Fuck you, go home!
You guys understand that this is a civil war? Like, you guys understand that we're in the Civil War. They are occupying Chicago, Portland, they're in LA still, Louisiana just requested them to come over, they're gonna do New York next. Like, this is the like, this is war. These are soldiers attacking you. Like, I don't think you guys understand where we are. America's dead. This is the Civil War. You're in the Civil War. You didn't start it. I don't want you to fight, but you're in it. You gotta be aware that you're in it. Please write down the chat that got censored and send it to me in Discord, Incorrigible Heathen. I appreciate that. I mean, like, this just looks like a third world country now.
Don't touch them, they're already there. They're not in the front.
Oh no, sorry, now we're in Russia. I really think investing in that umbrella with that Mylar blanket and some fabric on top might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I skipped over Pritzker's speech because it is feckless, as usual. Get your cell phones out, record what you see, put it on social media. Bitch, we've been doing it the whole fucking time. No one can even fucking see it now. Again, there are 20 people watching me. That's all I get to see this. Who else is showing these videos? I mean, maybe 1, 2, 3 other people? That's it? Maybe? At best, 10,000 people see this. At best. Like, on video form. Like, sure, Twitter is gonna have views and shit, like 53,000. How many of these are bots? How many of these are right-wingers watching this, like, masturbating? I mean, he's a billionaire, Buncor. I don't know why anyone would think he is our friend. He's a billionaire. He's a useful tool. Like Newsom. Like, fuck Gavin Newsom, but I will use him as a tool. Here is a different view of Broadview. Following what we watched before. This part, I haven't seen yet. Not you per se, but I've seen a lot of... No, I've seen a lot of people, like, being like, oh, Pritzker will help. No, we won't. He can mobilize the National Guard, but doesn't every damn governor allow this to happen because, like, belongs in the same trials as ICE? Yeah, like, he could mobilize the National Guard, Captain Buggy, but then you'll have the National Guard fighting the National Guard. That is literally starting, on paper, the Civil War. The Civil War has started. Not on paper. And Newsom is not as useful as he was. He was useful for like the 2 weeks, and I feel like he served that purpose pretty well. So.
All right, everyone. All pedestrians will move outside the road, or you'll be arrested for impeding. All pedestrians will move outside the road now, or you will be arrested for impeding. Let's move them out.
I mean, he's still a coward for not doing it, Buncor. The National Guard that is in Chicago is, I believe, from, is it Alabama or Tennessee or Mississippi? Like, this is a southern state invading the north. This is a Confederate army attacking a Union city, in the north. That's what they're doing, in reality.
Move off the roadway. Clear the road. Clear the road. Move off the roadway now. Back. Clear out of the way. Sir, get back. Get up. You need an ambulance? You all right? You need an ambulance, sir. Take my phone. Back up. I got it. Back up. You threw it down, motherfucker.
Do you need an ambulance? They're like, oh, we'll help you. They're just gonna grab you and take you inside. Agreed, you know my views, the whole reason I'm still on U.S. soil, just stating primary reason he didn't. Oh, of course. Do you understand this, by the way? Because this is... I've seen this happen to other people. Where you get injured, and they pretend like they're going to come help you, and then they just take you.
Ambulance, sir. Take my phone. Back up. I got it. Back up. You threw it down, motherfuckers. We got video. Back up. You threw it. Get back. Get back. Get in the ambulance now. Get that man.
I was just standing there. You're arresting him? He's a veteran.
Veteran falls. They're like, you need an ambulance? Handcuffs. Sorry. This is what fascism is. They don't care. They don't have to follow the law. ICE can kill you and not have any consequences.
Dana, D-A-N-A, Briggs, B-R-I-G-G-S.
If you get arrested, please shout out your name. Spell it out do what that man did. You gotta get people to actually know who the fuck you are so people can find you.
You know better than we are.
All right, folks. Chief Bovino, everybody clear the road. This is your one and only warning. If you don't clear the road, you'll be arrested.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Bovino, this is now unlawful assembly in the middle.
You guys understand that quote from the Constitution doesn't actually mean what we pretend it does. The right is correct when they say the U.S. was founded to be a Christian ethno-state. They are correct on that. It's evil, and I disagree with it, but they are correct on what that was.
On this road, everyone's going to move out of the road now. You're subject to arrest. I say again, subject to arrest. Everyone out of the road now. Move. Don't move.
Shout out your zip code too, especially if you have a generic sounding name.
Out of the road, all the way out of the road, or I'll put you under arrest. Everyone out of the road. Out of the road.
Hey, yo, bro. Hey, get back, bro. I need to speak with you for a second. I need you to stop.
Out of the road.
I need you to understand them and get in the mentality of you are in a war. As the evening progressed, federal agents would exit the facility through the gates, pushed into the protesters, forcing them off the street, make several arrests while firing sting balls into the crowd.
Get out of the road! It's our street! This is our street! Get off the road or you'll be arrested! Get off the road or you'll be arrested! This is the street! This is the public hearing! Leave!
Tearing away your shields. And then shooting it.
Hey, fuck you! Go home! Hey, fuck you! Go home!
Republicans be looking at this and think that it's the protesters causing violence. That's where we are.
Fuck you! Go home! Fuck you!
You guys understand that these are the brown shirts, right? I need you to understand that you are all Jews in Germany in 1940. Do you have these clips saved in Discord somewhere? No, most of these are on Twitter, but I do download them. You can click the button here, and then most videos will allow you to then download them. I can link this to you. I mean, this is a whole thread. Here, I'll link this to you, and you can download the videos if you want to keep them for records. By the way, if you have people overseas that you trust that you want to give records to, so that if you get got, they aren't destroyed, that might be a good idea. Then we got ATF piling confiscated wooden boards and umbrellas taken from the protesters into a truck following a search of activist tents outside the facility. More journalists could be seen taken away in handcuffs. They're arresting journalists. Guys, hello, we are Russia now. Suka Piat.
Excuse me, it's against the law to stand in the street. I'm just kidding. You guys don't give a fuck about the laws, do you? Nah.
They're already doing it, Aussie Welder. They're not going in order. We're at the point where they're just going after everybody that they don't like. Again, according to the National Security Directive issued recently, it is terrorism to be anti-capitalist, anti-Christian, specifically their type of Christian, anti-American, to want the overthrowing of the U.S. government, to have extreme views on race, which means you are not a white nationalist, you're a terrorist. Extreme views on migration. If you don't think that migrants should be beat, abused, and enslaved, you're a terrorist. Extreme views on American morality. If you have empathy, then you're a terrorist. If you, like, that's where we are. We've already done the Hitler laws, now it's the camps. That's where we're at. Like, logical progression-wise, there is nowhere this goes other than death camps. Like, there is no logical progression anywhere else. And as I've said before, this is something that's going to happen via exponential progression. We are seeing this happening slowly, but it won't happen slowly. It happens slowly at first, and then all at once. Again, like I gave the example before of a pond with lily pads on them. And on the first day, like, the pond is clear, but let's say the 30th day, the entire pond is covered in lily pads. There's no water you could see. On the 29th day, it would only be half covered. On the 28th day, it would only be like 25% covered. On the 27th day, it would be 12.5% covered. Like, we are seeing it happen, but we're not paying attention enough in every moment that we're zoomed out that we can see, oh, okay, that's all just one bit happening all at once. What American morality that is such a misnomer? Literally, it's just whatever, like, MAGA says. You have to hate gays, trans people, you have to be a trad wife. Like, that's American morality. Your wife can't vote, get a job, she has to pump out... Oh, wait, sorry, that was the family values one. That's the other one. You guys understand that I'm committing crimes by talking. This entire stream has been me criming based on that law. All of it. Every last bit. They are going to drum strike me.
Prepared this time.
The truck drivers are on their side, and the farmers currently are starving to death because they can't sell any of their shit. They're all mad at the government because the government said, we'll bail you out, but no, it's like their fault. Yeah, it's going to make... Oh, yeah. H cost looks like a dream. We're genuinely accelerating towards something... We're going to be worse than the Nazis. We're like, Nazi Germany won't compare to how bad we get. And I feel like we may have missed our mark for stopping this. At least, you know, without greater help from the international community. Which is why I need you all to get the fuck out of America. I don't care how expensive or hard it is. Go and cross a border and apply for asylum. Like, it is... You are a Jew in Germany in 1940. Get real. Like, be aware of where you're at. You don't have to leave, but all of you would be far more useful outside the country.
Get out of our city!
Oh yeah, one city journalist.
Get out of here! We don't fucking want you here! Leave!
I love how it's illegal.
Get out!
Protesting.
Get
Fucking fascist scum! Just grab it. Hold on. I didn't even enter the street. Why is he being detained? Why is he being detained? Why don't you kill yourself?
Why are you guys arresting U.S. citizens?
You know, in D.C., they've been going door to door. Whoa, explained one federal agent, apparently in jubilation of the following arrest. These are Nazis. That is a Nazi.
Quit your job! Quit your job!
Join your leader.
Quit your job!
What they do?
Follow your leader.
How badly do you beat your wives? How bad? How badly do you beat your wives? How badly?
Not working. And your children, too.
America really needs to step up its game. I want to see this more.
Robots, and I need all the Straw Hat Pirates to listen up. It has come to our attention that you two have somewhat of an informal alliance. Now, these two symbols right here, these are the most powerful symbols of this uprising. These are the symbols that people are going to see in the
Madagascar just had to dissolve its government because of youth protests.
history books. Why don't we solidify this alliance under one banner to strike back against the Schmazzies and the Celestial Dragons? I brought a mission to a bunch of you last week called the People's Sick Day, but for those who don't know, it is a 3-day labor block.
First off, I like the People's Sick Day, but I like this symbol. Yeah, it was Madagascar. I want to see that symbol show up. GI robot with the Straw Hat Pirate flag. They are in the highly violent crime areas such as K Street. Like, we may not like consultant, but some friends of mine are missing from the area. Look, if they're friends of yours, I like them. You're based and you're an ally. Like, as long as they are human and not demon, I care. So, you know. Later into the night, CBP and ICE agents exited the fence once again. This time they fired sting balls and tear gas into the crowd, leaving the entire street in a painful cloud. Lovely. Yeah, that was sarcasm. It is the bougiest part of town. Why? Because they're not going after illegal migrants, they're going after educated liberals and leftists. They have announced that they're going after leftists. Why do you think they're in the bougie parts of town? They're going after the educated liberals and the educated leftists. We need an alt-left pipeline. We need, like, content creators that don't make content about politics, but put politics into their content.
Oh, shit!
Well, try plugging it in. That's what the right has done and continues to do. Kojima, Fujimoto, and Miyazaki all done that unironically. I mean, I don't know who those people are, but I've heard all of their names. Multiple times. So, they were successful. James Gunn too, but from a liberal perspective, yeah. Like, that's the thing, right? The right tried to infiltrate, like, comic books, the fitness community, the food community, like everywhere you go, whatever your hobby is, you're inundated with right-wing rhetoric. We need that for the left. Non-political streamers that put their politics into their content. The police largely stayed out of the conflict. Way to go, protecting and serving your community, you fucking coward. All of them. Cowardly. Oh, by the way, here's these demons kidnapping a child. Kojima is the Metal Gear guy. Makes sense. Fujimoto is Chainsaw Man guy. That one I don't know. Miyazaki made, like... I know Miyazaki, because I've seen Spirited Away. I'm not very, like, movie person, but, you know. They kidnapped this child and the family.
Bro, they taking people. What the fuck? Yeah, they took a family. They took what the fuck? They take them or they just walk? No, they just took them.
Hey, Stacy.
Can they just call CBD? What the
Where's the family?
They just took them in the car.
Wait, what? Like, what did you just grab them?
Yes.
They just got them off the street.
Thank you, Latino Mufune. I think I got that. I mean, we need more. Aren't there reports that they literally run trafficking rings? Yes! Yes, there is! Do you trust the guy who's on the... do you trust Jeffrey Epstein's best friend to kidnap children from the greater St. James area and not traffic them? What the fuck does my family not comprehend about this? They're too afraid. Hiname. Most of the time, it is too scary to deal with, and so they don't want to look at it. Also in Chicago, this clip you've probably seen.
Get him! Watch out! Watch out!
Get fucked, pigs. What the fuck, actual fuck, do normies not see about this? Here's the reality check. A lot of the liberals, like, hypothetically, if Donald Trump passed away of natural causes today and JD Vance became the president, a lot of liberals would tune out entirely. They just would stop caring. A lot of people just hate Donald Trump and don't care about anything else. Any of it. They will not, like, you. Once that happens, half of the left is gone. Liberals are functionally conservatives, yeah. Is that started the stream on my computer? That would be your computer, because I still see Stream Healthy. Trump and ICE are doing the Nanking Massacre here in the US. They're doing much more than that. This is a combination of, like, Peronism, Pinochet, Russia, the Nazis, some China in there. Like, we're just taking all of the bad and mashing it together. That's kind of what we're doing here. By the way, they don't even, like, even the cops are getting abused by ICE, which is funny to me.
Shocked. I was shocked. I've never been spoken to by a fellow law enforcement officer in such a way.
Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills says on top of requiring 75% of his department's manpower for crowd control outside of the ICE processing facility in the west suburban city, he was personally, verbally attacked by ICE agents during a protest.
I'm a leader of a department. I know that my officers are looking at me for guidance and leadership, and I had to ensure that, you know, I had to stay calm and not engage in such unprofessional behavior.
Chief Mills says he was walking across a skirmish on September 12th, the day this video was shot. He was called
Yeah, you're right, Buncor. They learned from history. This is going to be worse. I just wish anyone would have listened. No, I know the feeling, Buncor. I know. The SCOTUS said that ICE can use racial profiling. They don't need to. They just need to point to NSPM 7. That's all they need to do. You're un-American. You're anti-capitalist. You're too gay. You're an extremist on race. Like you're the people protesting ICE. You would just say these are race extremists. They want the genocide of white culture. That's what they'll say. That is what they will say. Because these people believe that. They believe that white culture is being genocided, which is why they need to do all of this. Meanwhile, by the way, while we're doing all of this, you want to know what's actually happening in, like, some interesting, cool things that are happening? This is real, by the way. China invented bone glue. Repairs bone fractures in 3 minutes with no surgery or metal plates. It's real. Technology called Bone O2, inspired by well-known 502 glue in China, has developed the last 9 years by a team of orthopedic surgeons. Like, this is what is happening elsewhere. 2 to 3 minutes to glue a bone back together. That's what they're doing elsewhere. I thought we had bone glue. I've never heard of it before, but definitely not like that. Not like 3 minutes and it's ready. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, I'm just looking at some updates. That's interesting. Stephen Miller, White House Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor, which is not the job he had last time, but okay, is playing a leading role in directing ongoing strike campaigns by the U.S. Air Force and Navy against suspected narco cartel boats off the coast of Venezuela, and his role at times superseded that of the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, Marco Rubio. The strikes against boats allegedly carrying narcotics for drug cartels based in Venezuela, which the administration claimed were necessary. He said do it, they said nah, and they had to do it anyway. By the way, I'm going to talk about this next stream, but someone went down to Venezuela, found the family members of the people that got killed by the United States, and guess what? They were not drug traffickers. They weren't. Gospel and lavender were tested in Gaza so we can have them here. Yep, exactly. The IDF trained the tech not to be very choosy. This is all Larry Ellison. The IDF was able to do that because of Larry Ellison. You know what? I was going to talk about I was going to update you guys on what's going on in Europe, in NATO. But, I think maybe this is more useful. One second. Oh, yeah, there's the two. Jesus Christ. All right, we're just doing fucking Nazi propaganda out of the Homeland Security Department. Here we go. Protect your homeland and defend your culture from Homeland Security. Straight Nazi propaganda. Oh, by the way, Libs of TikTok is crying because the New York Times wrote an article about her being a terrorist. She got this 16-year-old killed, by the way, because of a bomb threat that she got to happen. Inspired a mass shooter, numerous bomb threats. She's a terrorist. Let's take a look at the surveillance state. I said this well before this was common knowledge, but this is how they got Luigi Mangione. They used Palantir. What does that look like?
When I made my video on how they caught Luigi Mangione, I correctly identified the fact that the police were not able to track him down based on any kind of facial recognition. The only picture of Luigi's face the police got was a high-angled shot from a CCTV camera in a hostel where Luigi is wearing a full hoodie and is completely covering his hair, ears, neck, and forehead. If you don't know who you're looking for, this frame is not enough to identify anybody. How Luigi was caught was by the police following his profile, his shoes, clothes, backpack, possibly even gait, and relative height. You might think that this is a tedious and laborious task, but it very much isn't anymore. What I'm about to show you is an extremely powerful tool that automates this work beyond anything you could possibly imagine or might have seen in popular media. This is Track. It's made by Veritone, a video analytics and a surveillance AI company. In this demo, Track allows you to search for a target based on a wide range of characteristics, most notably accessories, body, clothes, or footwear, as well as key biometric markers. Track can not only identify this profile in a surveillance camera, but can also follow the subject's movement across different recordings. It does this in a way that leaves little manual labor for the operator. It's fast, efficient, and much more precise than facial recognition alone, which in many street settings like that fateful morning in New York City is completely dysfunctional. Track is used by Veritone's 400+ customers, many of which of course include federal, state, and local police, but it's also used by universities and commercial customers from media and entertainment. Track can be legally used even in cities and states that ban the use of facial recognition by the
Yep, there's no law anymore. The tech companies decide we live in Cyberpunk 1984, a brave new world.
Police, because Track can follow so many features, it doesn't need to rely on faces at all. For Veritone, Track is still in its beginning stage of development. The company promises they are only 1 year away from being able to run it on live video feeds with full automation. That year should be 2026. Track by Veritone is part of a newly emerging industry called whole body biometrics. Surveillance technologies that go beyond anything remotely imagined by sci-fi scenarios and dystopian fantasies. Whole-body biometrics is currently the primary focus of research funded by the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity, or IARPA, which is a US government.
Interesting, Jet. There's a lot of fuckery going on behind the scenes. I know there is. It's hard to figure out. So, by the way, Veritone's largest investor is a man named Ryan Steelberg. What else are you? Oh, you have a Twitter page. That's helpful. I found, this. Oh, wait, I have to use the same window. Here we go. Found this. The ownership of it. Recent insider trading activity, Chad Steelberg. Oh, look, Ryan Steelberg. Vanguard, Chad Steelberg. Themes Fidelity, Concord Street Trust, which ties into, I believe, Block. I don't know who these people are. You look like you're from Israel, which would not surprise me.
Body. IARPA aims to develop the ultimate surveillance tool, one that can combine all key biometric markers into one comprehensive surveillance AI. The research into this is led by a team at the Michigan State University, and the tool they are creating is called Farsight. Farsight combines 3 biometric markers, gait, body, and face, into a traceable profile to be matched to known individuals or to identify new matches. Gait and face recognition are not really new. They are long-known methods of identifying subjects based on their stride and their face, obviously. What is new is Farsight's body recognition, a sort of 3D reconstruction of a subject's body that is effectively undressing them to generate an accurate model of their anatomy. Farsight adds this third marker into...
Hey, this is the government.
Yeah, what do you want, government?
Is this conversation about overthrowing the government?
No, government.
Fuck off, government.
Okay.
The mix, because it's relatively simple to thwart facial and gait recognition. To obfuscate your face without raising any suspicions, wearing a simple hoodie and thick shades, for instance, or maybe a scarf will do plenty. Putting a pebble inside your shoe or carrying really heavy weight will change the way you walk significantly enough to fool any gait recognition algorithms. But changing your body type cannot be easily done on the fly. Farsight is using large vision models, specifically Clip made by OpenAI and Dino V2 from Meta. These are trained on annotated footage of thousands.
More of the tech oligarchs working together to build the fucking torture nexus
Of subjects. Farsights take this a step further. Their LVMs use their own training data of 900,000 videos and photos of 3,000 individuals collected by the US government. Its training and development is put in the most challenging situations, like high angles and high altitudes, where factors like atmospheric turbulence distort surveillance footage that recognition tools then struggle to analyze. Farsight's goal is to overcome these problems to create a long-range aerial surveillance with near-perfect accuracy, the kind that can be mounted on tall watchtowers or even drones.
This, if it doesn't already exist, will be out by the beginning of next year. This is terrifying technology, but it doesn't matter because we don't get to decide things anymore. Like, we just don't. That's not how this works. This is fascism. We do the Ministry of Silly Walks is a great ministry. See, I read that as Silly Wanks, and I was gonna say, guess we're all dressing up in Pikachu suits now. Based. Let's see. What else do I have? I have so much shit. Well, we can start off with a little bit of Europe. In China, if a Muslim has their beard grown out, all of those cameras are how the government ends up fining you or criminalizing you for growing your beard out. Yeah. And, like, all those cameras are being built here by the same dude who put them in China. It's the same guy. So, like, be aware of that. Speaking of China, now I predicted that they would invade Taiwan this year. And one of the rare occasions that I was wrong. But I wasn't all that wrong. They would have, but they couldn't because they missed their window because their Fujian aircraft carrier needed some more work. But now, according to classified intelligence reports earlier this year, From the Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency, seen by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, China is rapidly building a massive fleet of commercial ferries in preparation for an invasion of Taiwan. The DIA says that the large ocean-going vessels have been modified to carry tanks and partake amphibious operations by the People's Liberation Army, with China expected to have more than 70 of the large vessels in service by the end of 2026. Satellite intelligence of the ferries from earlier this year shows them being used alongside a new series of landing docks off China's southern coastline, as well as deploying amphibious forces in military exercises PLA-PLAN. The intelligence reports from the U.S. Department of Defense assess that commercial ferries are possible military targets in a conflict scenario, meaning that the ferries could be targeted and sunk by the U.S. Great. We already knew all of that. What we didn't know is that they are starting to build prep, like things that you know that there is a war coming. I'm talking like med tents, food storage, gas, petrol storage near the staging areas.
U.S. military intelligence report claims China is rapidly building up its commercial ferry fleet in preparation for a possible invasion of Taiwan. For more on this, we're joined by expert associate at the Australian National University's Security College, Jennifer Parker. Jennifer, good to have you on our program. Tell us, what do we...
That's not true. Beards do not make facial recognition not work. The only thing that will make facial recognition have a harder time is weird shapes. Like if you draw a circle and then like a square and then maybe like a triangle on your face, that'll mess it up. I've been interested in sewing recently. Tailoring is a wonderful way to adjust your silhouette. Also a great skill to have when, you know, the world ends.
We know about the vessels and reports that China is boosting its ferry fleet.
Yeah, look, thanks so much for having me on. So we've seen this reporting predominantly from the ABC today, saying that there has been a classified intelligence report that they've seen saying that China is building these, what we call...
Sorry, breaking news, everybody. Unsurprisingly, one that relates to all of this. Following in the footsteps of Meta and X, YouTube and its parent company Alphabet have settled a multi-million-dollar lawsuit with President Trump. $24.5 million. I wonder why YouTube is getting shittier. When I had a beard, I didn't get recognized by human by those cameras. And how long ago was that? Because that is not the case anymore. Or if you have those reflective LED things, I forget what they're called, they just make your face look white out. Those are good too. The issue being, they don't need to see your face. They didn't see Luigi's face.
Ro-ros, or roll-on, roll-off, or ferries to logistically support any kind of amphibious invasion of Taiwan. Now, it says that China is intending on building 70 by 2026. Now, those numbers are new, but the idea of China using civilian ferries or roll-on, roll-off vessels to support amphibious operations.
I don't give a shit about your analysis. I can do a better job. I'm sorry. You're actually good with analysis, but I'm more here for the data points.
And support any potential amphibious invasion are actually detected and tracked through satellite imagery. So there's a lot of people online who watch very closely China's shipyards. China has over 300 shipyards. In fact, China produces over 1,000 civilian vessels a year, the biggest ship producer in the world. So they track closely the development of these vessels. As I mentioned before, the estimates from this intelligence reporting reported by the ABC is that China is hoping to have 70 by 2026. Now, this concept, though, as I mentioned, is not new for China. It's actually something that many countries, including Australia, have done before. So navies often use civilian vessels called stuffed, or ships taken up from trade, stuffed being the acronym, to support this logistics. And in fact, Australia used this on a completely different scale, but Australia actually used this concept during East Timor.
Either way, I mean, there's that. What's worse than this, though? It's time to learn how to make body prosthetics to change your body image. We're doing cyberpunk shit now. Are we gonna get chromed up? But Marxists don't produce anything. They just take other people's stuff. Sure. Get some cyberware, yeah? Chrome. If we're gonna live in cyberpunk, I'm gonna start using cyberpunk language. It's fucking preem. I don't care.
Documents suggest that Russia is helping China prepare to attack Taiwan. The files were examined by researchers at the Royal United Services Institute. That's a defense and security think tank that's based in the UK. They show that Russia has agreed to supply military equipment and technology that could help China prepare an airborne invasion. Russia and China have deepened their military cooperation in recent years, with Beijing providing support for Moscow's war in Ukraine.
More on this in a second, but straight from like the Russian sources. Well, not Russian sources, but showing the Russians themselves.
Is Russia helping China prepare to seize Taiwan? Well, according to the Royal United Services Institute, yeah, they are. China has been signaling it wants to take Taiwan by 2027. Xi Jinping has told his army to be ready to take Taiwan by then.
Your fucking thumbnail is misleading, man. See, this is what happens when you don't pre-watch videos because you want to have like a fucking real reaction. They end up not being what they look like. How can Russia supply anything? They can. The thing is, like, warfare is now done cheap. You don't need a lot of, you just need a lot of mass-produced cheap shit now. Like, that's it. And also, like, they've increased economic ties between China, Russia, North Korea. Like, they are their own bloc. And as we get weaker, they get stronger. Makeup contouring is really neat. Some of the most creative makeup artists use facial prosthetics to achieve fantastic transformations. It's true.
In return, China could be getting the military expertise it would need to successfully take over Taiwan. Now, according to U.S. intelligence...
Also, training troops would be helpful because the Russians have been at war. Their combat, they're not green, you know?
Chinese President Xi Jinping has directed China's army to be ready to invade Taiwan by the year 2027. China views the self-governing island as a breakaway territory and has vowed, in its words, to unify Taiwan with the mainland. It says it's willing to use force if necessary. Now, speaking in Washington recently, Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council minister said that China...
Oh, also, Russia has this. That's the other bit.
Вовка, как ты?
Нормально. А мне, честно, нет.
Уверенно брать дистанцию, как Вовка, скоро смогут и его одноклассницы. Сомнений нет, форма обязывает. Эти мальчишки и девчонки примерили камуфляж еще до школы. Все выпускники кадетской группы детсада. Классный руководитель у них не просто классный. Андрей Апурин участник.
So, like, they do have that. Now, we're not gonna go too deep into that, but you guys are aware that, like, shit's getting real, right? Indoctrination, yeah. Nazi force, yeah. That is the case. That is both the case. We do this in America too, though. I went to one of those schools. Yep. You guys are aware of the two Tu-95 MS long-range strategic bombers and the Su-35 Flanker M multi-role fighters violating the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone earlier in the week, where the U.S. had to scramble in E-3C Sentry AWAC 4 F-16s and 4 KC-135s to protect the area. God damn, I keep hitting my mic. Like, you understand what that is, right? Also, we have the USS Gerald Ford and her carrier strike group consisting of the Arleigh-Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Mahan, USS Winston Churchill, along with the Royal Danish Navy, Iver Liefeld class frigate, Niles Yule, and the French Army Aquitaine class frigate. We're in it. Now, like, we're not going to provide support much, but we're definitely going to show off at the very least. Now, beyond that, Europe's not doing so hot. So first off, some good news. Moldova won its election. The Russians did not succeed. It actually fucking had a landslide, even though the Russians spent a lot of money and did a lot of things to try and win Moldova. In fact... Moldova bans two parties from participating in parliamentary elections 48 hours before the election day for alleged illegal financing and voter bribery. The two parties in question, Moldova Mare, backed by a fugitive Russian oligarch who lives in Moscow, and the Heart of Moldova, ran by a woman sanctioned by several countries for being a Russian agent. W for Moldovan literacy. True. True. Kremlin is setting conditions to generate possible violent protests to remove Moldovan President Maya Sandu from power following the parliamentary elections. Recent polling within Moldova suggests that the pro-Western party Action and Solidarity, which currently holds the majority in parliament, may lose its majority in the upcoming elections, which thankfully did not happen. And funny enough,
Moldova's ruling pro-European party has retained its majority in high-stakes elections. The ballot, which was marred by claims of Russian interference, was widely seen as a choice between East and West. The result brings Moldova closer to membership in the European Union.
Majority and making EU membership now an increasingly realistic proposition.
We all want the same, to live in peace, liberty, to assure our children a good and safe future in our country. The shortest way to these objectives is the European path.
Which is fantastic. I'm happy for them. Pro-Kremlin bloc is right behind PAS as Russian pours hundreds of millions into interference and propaganda to sway the outcome. They do this every fucking election in every fucking country. I don't understand how we just, like, you know why Moldova actually won this election? You know why they didn't fall to the Russians? This is why. A few days before, Moldova conducted large-scale raids detaining 74 people allegedly trained in Serbia to stage unrest ahead of the elections. Authorities say the operation was coordinated by Russian intelligence. That's why Moldova won. The suspects aged 19 to 45 were reportedly trained to provoke crowds, resist police, use weapons. Investigators seized money, SIM cards, passports, phones, and camouflage gear. Authorities note that some detainees are linked to political parties and criminal groups, but organizers operated from Russia. Citizens' right to protest remain protected, but criminal interference will not be tolerated. It's that fucking easy. You just don't allow the anti-democratic fascists to destroy your democracy. It's almost like, I don't know, magic, right? Who could have possibly thought? Now, Europe's not looking great. Because this was last night, and this is only military vehicles. This map is not showing any commercial flights. This is only military vehicles. That's fucking terrifying. This picture later in the night is getting more active. Purple is AEW, yellow tanker tracks, green is electronic interference. Baltics, we got one Italian G55, one Turkish E7, one MMF tanker. Poland, we got one P8, we got NATO E3 Sentry, we got Swedish Eland Sigint Gulfstream, and in the Baltics we have a Swedish Saab AEW and an aforementioned Eland Sigint. Like, we're up there. It is not a great position to be in because, as I've said before, Europe is going to have trouble in identifying and locating the drones. The drone often will fly low, and then the radar won't catch it. For example, regarding the drones currently flying over Denmark and also what happened in Poland, I maintain my view that our radar systems cannot reliably detect them, which makes taking them down extremely difficult, especially at night. In Ukraine, the situation is different because they use a lot of acoustic and specialized detection systems, but there is never black and white. Right now, with low-flying drones, especially over airports, detection is a huge challenge. You don't know if they're armed or not, which obviously adds risk. Having drones in the airspace over multiple airports with repeated closures over consecutive days is concerning. It is a problem. Now, what are we going to do about that problem? Well, I don't know. I mean, how much do, I don't know. Hold on. Let me pull some other stuff. Well, Denmark banned all drone flights and called in some reservists. So that's good. Let me open these links. So, start off with Denmark banning drone flights.
Denmark is temporarily banning civilian drone flights after drones were spotted over several military facilities at the weekend, following earlier sightings that forced some Danish airports to halt operations. Eyewitness videos, verified by Reuters, show hovering lights near Aalborg Airport in central Denmark on Thursday. Used for commercial and military flights, the airport was temporarily shut down for a second night in a row over suspected drone activity, while Copenhagen Airport was closed for nearly 4 hours on Monday over a drone sortie. In a statement on Sunday, the Danish military said it had deployed several capacities in response to the sightings at bases, but declined to give further details. Denmark has called the drones part of a hybrid attack. It has stopped short of saying definitively who it believes is responsible. But Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has suggested it could be Moscow, calling Russia.
Come on, just say it's fucking Russia. Everyone and their mother knows it's Russia. The dead know it's Russia.
The primary country that poses a threat to European security. The Kremlin denies blame. Under the ban, civilian drones will be barred from Danish airspace from Monday through Friday of the coming week. Denmark is hosting European leaders this week as the country currently holding the rotating EU presidency. Its defense minister acknowledged the difficult security situation, saying in a statement following the ban that the country needed to help the armed forces and police to ensure security during the EU summit. A German air defense frigate arrived in Copenhagen on Sunday to assist with airspace surveillance during the
Oh hey, the government shuts down in 10 minutes. You guys excited?
high-profile events. For a second.
So after that, Denmark called up roughly 12,000... Sorry, no they didn't. Danish armed forces have urgently called up soldiers amid drone activity in Danish airspace. TV2 reports sources say several hundred troops may be deployed. They have 12,000 reserves plus 51,000 Home Guard members. Remember, Poland also called up 40,000 troops earlier. Denmark authorities have launched a press conference over the recent drone attacks. We read this one, actually. Sorry, my bad. French has announced the deployment of counter-UAS detachment reinforcements to the Danish armed forces ahead of the European Union summit in Copenhagen on October 1st and 2nd, following a flurry of unidentified drone sightings over airports and military bases across the country and throughout Northern Europe. The detachment will include an H-125 Fennec utility helicopter, active anti-drone capabilities, and 35 personnel from the French armed forces. Why does the government shutdown always have to happen right before the first of the month when people are getting their paychecks? Because it's all meant to make you suffer. All of it. Every last bit of it. Even the good stuff, really. The Republicans are enjoying that people on TikTok are mad at the Democrats for the shutdown, which... Germany's quick reaction alert Eurofighters were scrambled to intercept the unidentified aircraft, which turned out to be a Russian spy plane. That one. Germany's armed forces are planning for up to 1,000 wounded soldiers per day in a potential NATO-Russian conflict with hospitals, trains, and frontline stabilization. Expanded medical services. This comes after French revealed hospitals are preparing for 10 to 50,000 casualties by March of 2026. German Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt has stated that they are considering revising air safety laws to allow the armed forces to shoot down suspicious drones over Germany, following a string of unidentified drone sightings, blah, 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 blah. So, like, here's the thing, right? Here's where it gets serious. If, let's say, so we currently have NATO assets in the air in Europe. We have air defense willing to shoot down drones. What if it's a Russian plane? Are we willing to engage a Russian fighter craft? What if one of our pilots gets shot down, has to eject out of his plane and lands in occupied Russian territory? Are we gonna go get him? These are questions that, like, these people are not asking, and they are the most important questions to ask right now. And, like, I don't give two shits about Schumer. He is on the right. He's just one of MAGA to me.
German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius called Russia the greatest and most immediate threat to NATO as he spoke at the Warsaw Security Forum on Monday. Pistorius slammed Moscow for its repeated violations of European nations' airspace, which he called reckless and dangerous. The German defense chief confirmed that Russian drones flew over a German frigate in the Baltic Sea before violating Polish and Estonian airspace and visiting German army contingent in neighboring Lithuania, reaffirmed Berlin's commitment to strengthening defenses against such threats.
It's about improving the capacities passively and actively in terms of air defense, and therefore, of course, we will see whatever is possible in the weeks and months to come.
He noted that Germany will contribute to projects and initiatives to bolster the defense alliance's eastern flank, but declined to elaborate, saying it's too early to announce specific plans. He also reaffirmed Berlin's steadfast commitment to Ukraine's defenses.
God, the Germans are actual pussies. It's infuriating. The Netherlands has announced that it's joining France, Germany, Sweden, and Ukraine in deploying counter-drone systems and personnel to Denmark ahead of this week's European Union summit in Copenhagen. Good. By the way, this is how Putin sees things. Poland must be reminded its Western territories were a gift from Stalin. At the 1945 Yalta and Potsdam Conference, Stalin, alongside Allied leaders, redrew Poland's borders, shifting them westward. Poland lost eastern territories to the Soviet Union, now parts of Ukraine and Belarus, and gained former German lands like Silesia and Pomerania as compensation. This was less a gift and more a geopolitical maneuver, with Poland having little say in the matter. They have no intention of cooling the rhetoric down. Zero. Can't be ungifting. That's rude. It is rude. What else we have? We got, oh yeah. Turkish E-7T was sent to Lithuania. So we got Turkish planes flying in the region as well. Roughly a dozen U.S. Air Force KC-135 Stratotankers have left the U.S. last night. I still don't know where these ended up because some of these were not tracked. Right around the time that they went up, there was high pizza index. I don't know. I imagine these went to Europe. It was right around the time that we announced long-range strikes into Russia. Like, Ukraine is allowed to do long-range strikes into Russia. America supports this. And it was right around that time. Let's see. What else here is important? I got a few. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna bring up a couple things from the US before we continue back into what we were talking about, because these things I will forget otherwise, and they are important and relevant. First things first. The U.S. sues a pro-Palestinian demonstrator who protested outside of a synagogue. The Justice Department sued participants in a confrontation at New Jersey synagogue that devolved into violence, and officials said there might be more such cases to come. As in, they will arrest you and then sue you for violence for protesting. Grocery prices continue to soar, causing major stress for Americans across the country. There's been no relief as food costs continue to rise, and they will continue to rise. They're not going down. Like, seriously, like, learn how to acquire food. Look, grow shit. Go fishing. I don't know how to acquire food. I'm gonna die when that happens too. Back to Europe. The UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper at the UN Security Council said, if we need to confront Russian planes operating in NATO airspace without permission, we will do so. These acts risk miscalculation and direct armed confrontation with Russia. NATO stands ready to defend its skies and territories. Which, again, sure, I like that. You are ready to engage Russian planes. What happens if you get shot down and you end up in Russian-controlled territory? You end up a POW. Are we going to fight for you? That's important to think about, considering we're also talking about a possible aerial shield over Ukraine. Now, the Royal Navy had to go and check out a Russian warship in the English Channel, apparently. I hate the sun, but like they really fucking hate Russia, so.
The Royal Navy deployed a frigate to track a Russian warship that entered British waters this week amid sharply rising tensions between Moscow and NATO countries. HMS Iron Duke, a Type 23 frigate, along with a Wildcat helicopter, shadowed the Russian warship RFN New Strashimi as it escorted the Russian freighter Sparta 4. The three-day operation saw the vessels tracked through the North Sea and the English Channel, concluding on Tuesday. This deployment marks the 18th time a Type 23 frigate has activated to monitor Russian vessels in the last 12 months, with 25 such vessels monitored in that period. Defence Minister Luke Pollard said Russian warships are increasingly transiting through the English Channel and confirmed the Royal Navy monitors Russian movements 24/7. This monitoring...
This really do look like the start of World War III? That's because it is, Sylvie. Like, we're currently in the part where a history book is writing about it. America has fallen to the Nazis, Europe is at war with... Literally, the foreign minister and the defense minister of Russia have stated openly that NATO is at war with Russia. So, you know, take it serious.
Secures British waters and undersea cables, demonstrating how the UK stands firm with NATO allies to deter Russian aggression. Commander David Armstrong, commanding the frigate, highlighted the importance of safeguarding the security of the seas as an island nation, asserting the Royal Navy's full commitment to maritime security missions. This latest naval deployment follows a series of suspected Russian incursions into NATO airspace. The North American...
We'll go more into the airspace stuff ourselves. Polish foreign minister has called NATO to impose a no-fly zone over Ukraine to protect... You did hear that correctly, Salamander Sapien. To protect Europe from Russian strikes following last week's drone activity by Russia against Eastern Europe. Quote, we as NATO and the EU could be capable of doing this, but it is not a decision that Poland can make alone. We do this for Israel. We do this for Israel. We park a couple ships next to Israel, and then every time someone flies a missile or a drone at them, we shoot them down. We help them. We do that already. We can do this for Ukraine. Protection for our population, for example, from falling debris would naturally be greater if we can combat drones and other flying objects beyond our national territory. If Ukraine were to ask us to shoot them down over its territory, that would be advantageous for us. Again, like, you don't even necessarily have to go into Russian territory. Like, they could shoot down drones before they cross into their territory. All this and all the content creators are still focused on interpersonal drama stories. Yeah, which is why I don't engage with any of that stuff. That boggles my mind. I could give a fuck about interpersonal drama. At best, that is okay, let's take a break from the horrors and have something fun. And fun is like drama. That's where we're at as a society. Not doing great, guys. During a recent interview with the BBC, the first Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Lieutenant General Ivan Havylyuk, has stated that Ukraine will be receiving additional F-16s and Mirage 2000s soon from allies in Europe, while announcing for the first time Ukraine is expecting to receive a Saab JAS-39 Gripens from Sweden, with him adding, when you see them over the skies of Ukraine, you'll know they have arrived. More F-16, more fighter jets for Ukraine. Fan-fucking-tastic. Love that. Why the penguins? Okay. AI.
The growing threat from Russia, that is top of the agenda for European politicians and security experts meeting at the Warsaw Security Forum. Now, ahead of talks, the foreign ministers of Germany, France, and Poland met...
Okay, cool. This is 9 hours ago, so I have no idea what the fuck this is about.
...separately as part of what is known as the Weimar Triangle. They discussed Russian incursions into NATO airspace.
I did not want to hear the word Weimar right now.
And Europe's continued support for Ukraine. Now, speaking via video link, Ukrainian President Zelensky offered to help build a joint air defense shield with allies to protect against threats from Russia.
Be much quicker than we are right now, because when we talk...
Well, for more, I'm joined now by James Black. He's the Deputy Director of the Defense and Security Research Group at RAND Europe. Mr. Black, it's good to have you with us. The Ukrainian President, Zelensky, he wants Europe and Ukraine to build a joint aerial defense system. How feasible is this?
So
Ukraine clearly is a country that's acquired the wrong way, unfortunately, through invasion, a lot of experience over the last 3 years in dealing with the Russian threat, and particularly the air and missile threat, which is, we're seeing Russia attacking Kyiv and other cities kind of nightly, and obviously we're seeing Russian military also going after Ukrainian military positions along the front line. So Ukraine absolutely has a lot to offer the wider Europe in terms of its expertise on Russian tactics and technologies. It's at the forefront of the rapid kind of race, the arms race between, drones and counter drones, missiles.
You're gonna say a whole bunch of nothing. I wonder if after the end of World War III, when will be the exact point historians say the war started? What do you think about that? I would say when Donald Trump became the president. That would, if I had to look backwards and say, all right, when did we officially? No, not that. No, maybe, I don't know. It could be that, or it could be Israel, because Israel's connected into all of this too. So the Ukrainians managed to black out the entire city of Belgorod. It is dark. So that was because HIMARS missiles destroyed the foundation of a building housing gas turbine units at the Belgorod thermal power plant, according to Astra. During yesterday's attack by Ukrainian armed forces on Belgorod thermal power plant, 4 HIMARS missiles destroyed the foundation of the building housing the gas turbine unit. The plant's main building was also caught fire. Astra sources in the region emergency service reported electricity generation was stopped. Thermal power plant is only working to supply hot water. Another HIMARS landed at an electrical substation in the village of Bliznaya Umenka in the Belgorod region and damaged transformers and power lines. I think it's fantastic, and Ukraine has been like Russia's economy is propped up by oil, but they're fucked. Like, at the very least, 17 to 20% of Russia's oil production is currently stopped. The best part of that is right around now they would be transitioning from regular oil to winter diesel, like thick diesel that won't freeze in the winter. The issue being they can't do that because 20% of the factories are not working. They still need to make the regular gas. They still need to make the diesel. The diesel is what goes to the fucking military, by the way. So they're going to choose the diesel over the gas. But it's money or fund the military. They're not in a great situation, and they keep getting more and more and more hits. And fixing the damage on those is pretty much impossible on some of those transformers because not transformers, on some of those oil refineries and mining plants because they require Western parts. Zora, the book would be written in 2016, which was our 1930 Reichstag elections. Yes, ours took. You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say my original thought was when Russia invaded Ukraine is when World War III officially started. But no, you're right. When Trump won the first time, and our Reichstag moment being January 6th, or... No, sorry. Hitler also tried to, fucking illegally take control of the government at one point as well, and then failed. And then they let him back in again anyway. I never even thought about your oil freezing. Yeah, winter diesel is what they use to prevent that. Also, last month, Ukraine's GUR aviation branch conducted a successful insertion into Russia's Belgorod Oblast using a pair of Blackhawks. Well done to Ukraine to be able to fly, Blackhawks into Russia, land them, and then do shit. Your letters are covering the helicopter landing, asshole. But, cool. Here is a sea drone. Everywhere. We got drones everywhere. I see, right in the plexi. Additional angle. It's getting shot at and it's zigzagging. I do enjoy the fact that the Russians don't feel as safe at home.
Today
and I would like to remind you all that these are demons, because if you haven't heard about the human safari in Kherson, go watch Zabrinsky's new documentary on it. Fantastic, journalist in Ukraine, in Kherson. I've covered this a little bit myself, but
I'm in Kherson at the premiere of Zarina Zabriskie's new documentary, a film that traces the city's struggle through invasion, occupation, liberation, and now the human safari.
The film explores the whole journey of Kherson from the start of the full-scale invasion in February 2022, and is broken in chapters to show all the stages of grief that Kherson went through, and that's invasion, protests, occupation, liberation, then ongoing shelling and bombardments, and then
we watched Colin Robinson go to Kherson and get hunted by a drone.
Finally, human safari, which is far from over. Since there were 4 aerial guided bombs hitting the city during the screening, you can imagine that it was tense, and sometimes the explosions on the screen were hard to tell from the explosions outside. But people were moved, people were crying, because for them it's their experience. Kherson is a city in Ukraine, it's a Ukrainian city, it exists, it fights back, it wants to stay alive while it's being killed and while it's being targeted by all possible weapons from the other side of the Dnipro. And Kherson needs help.
I linked a map in the chat of the human safari. Thank you to Zomi, friend of the channel, for linking me this and helping spot some of these. All of these are targets that were hit in the human safari. Their dates. Oh. Red is wounded, purple is killed. Wow, that is filling up really quickly. Oh, I didn't realize that we're going through. Yeah, we're now entering 2025 now. Right now. Bam, it's January. We've talked about the human safari in Bosnia as well. And this is the same idea, except for instead of snipers in the mountains just shooting people on the street, let's just send the new drone unit guys over here so they can practice on civilians before we send them to the front to go die in a ditch somewhere. You can basically cover the whole town, the whole city. It's actually fucking disgusting and insane. What else do we? Things are just bad. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I haven't talked about Madagascar.
Madagascar President Andry Rajoelina said on Monday he was dissolving the government following deadly youth-led protests over water and power cuts. Maybe we haven't met the needs you aspired to, or even listened to the cries and fears you experienced, he said in a speech on state broadcaster TVM. The United Nations says more than 20 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in 3 days of demonstrations, the largest the Indian Ocean island has seen in years. Police fired tear gas to disperse crowds.
What are you talking about, Cerberus? Like, how did, I mean, pro-Palestine, obviously, free Palestine, all of that. I just don't understand what you mean by humiliating Israeli defeat. What happened? I haven't seen anything yet. I mean, it feels like they kind of won. Okay, you can be Jewish. What's wrong with that? You can be Jewish and pro-Palestine. In fact, you can't be Jewish and a Zionist, because being a Zionist is anti-Semitic. So, like, okay. And you free Palestine. Good for you. Did you have a different point?
On Monday, after authorities declared a dusk-to-dawn curfew last week. Rajoelina said he wanted to communicate with the young people.
I just don't understand how, like, there was an Israeli defeat. It kind of looks like America just gave them permission to murder the rest of the Palestinians so that Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and Donald Trump could have a fucking night city on the strip.
Measures to support businesses affected by looting. Inspired by...
By the way, guys, we've now seen Nepal, Indonesia, we've seen Madagascar all rise up. Youth movements are successful in these places. But you understand what has to, like, what these people suffer before they succeed. And if you look at what's happening in the United States, it looks pretty similar to this right now. Don't forget Haiti from the last year or two. You know, we're still occupying Haiti. And by the way, free Puerto Rico, like another occupied American state. Your constitution is bullshit, and you don't believe in it because you don't act like that. Are you pro-Israel or pro-Palestine? Cerberus. I can't tell because you sound incoherent. It's difficult when it's like short messages in a chat. I'm not actually attacking you. I actually just want to know so that we can talk accordingly. I don't know who the hell you are or what you believe. How am I supposed to engage with that? I mean, I'm American too. I know the Constitution as well. The Constitution was literally built to create a white ethno-state. In fact, you know what? Let's watch that video. I do often like listening to Todd Strummer. Good man. So, Cyrus, you gonna answer me or not? Because I'm gonna move on.
Asking me about the University of Florida law student who wrote a paper claiming that the Constitution was written only for white people.
Same, bun.
Now, what he does with that argument is monstrous. I had to go read it. Blech. But when you come to the end of it, you gotta ask yourself, what if he's right? What if he's right about the premise? What if he's right about the founding? What if he's right about the Constitution? Hey folks, I'm Tad Sturmer. I read all kinds of crap so you don't have to. No, I actually expect you to read it too, then we can talk about it. I'm a historian of the University of Southern Denmark and Johns Hopkins, and the author of the forthcoming Resistance History of the United States. So let's do what I do every day in writing a resistance history, is confront some deeper truths, no matter how unsavory they end up being. And I'm not interested in going into Dembski's authoritarian fantasy as fever dream, but the reality that the original Constitution was a white ethnostate. And it wasn't fundamentally challenged until the Civil War and Reconstruction. It's not the first time you'll hear that point made here. But you've probably seen the headlines about this by now. So This law student at the University of Florida writes this paper, and it claims that the Constitution was written only for white people, okay? And that it should be interpreted that way. Well, all right. That voting rights should be stripped from non-white citizens. Not all right. That shoot-to-kill orders should be used at the border. Horrific. And that the country should be reclaimed by...
This is what the right believes.
...by force for its original racial core. Really. And then, of course, a federal...
I keep wanting to say I want my life back, but I never had a life of my own to begin with. Yes, you did. This is what they stole from you. Unironically, return with the V. This is what they stole from you.
Federal judge, John Battlementi, slightly to the right of Vidkun Quisling, gives it an academic award. And the reaction has been outrage, horror, condemnation, rightfully so. The use of the police power to enforce racial supremacy is final solution territory. And what Domsky advocates is the ideology of white nationalist authoritarianism, an attempt to rebrand fascism as constitutional fidelity, and is represented by core people at the heart of the current regime. But this is the part that we need to talk about. What if he's right about the origins? Not what we should do about it. That's ridiculous. But about what we were. What if the Constitution was written for white people? What if his premise is right? What if the original republic, the first republic, the one that so many originalists want to recover, and so many apologists on the left today hold up as a model, they love trotting out these quotes by Thomas Jefferson, was in fact a white ethno-state in both form and function? Because he didn't invent that reading. He's just not pretending it's an American liberal fantasy. We, the people, in 1787 did not mean all.
Absolutely. His name is Tad Starmer. Right there. As a USA infantryman insulting me to, it is insulting to me that our Constitution is BS. Funny how you said it. I promise you I will always protect it from anyone, anytime. Okay. Are you going to protect it against the Nazis who are currently taking control and destroying the Constitution? Like, go watch the beginning of my stream. Freedom of speech, gone. Freedom of religion, gone. Freedom of organization, gone. Gone. Second Amendment, they're taking that away. Like, you're gone. You don't believe in reality. Oh, yeah, wrong link. Oopsie. I didn't copy. Oh, that's because I'm trying to link. I need to just copy the word. There you go. That's his name, it's Tad and then Stormer. And then this is his Facebook channel. Not Facebook. Jesus Christ. My brain is out of it. His TikTok channel. Again, like, when we watch him, I don't really have much to say because he's just fucking correct.
People. It meant white men. Citizenship was limited by law explicitly to free white persons. The Constitution protected slavery at every turn. It counted enslaved people as 3/5 of a person, denied them legal standing, and forced free states to return them to bondage. And the men who wrote it? Nearly all enslavers or their political enablers. In fact, their ideology, patriot republicanism, demanded it. The liberty of white men required property in black people. So take a minute before you reach for your copy of Gordon Wood and you start adding me with quotes from it. Damsky's paper is not a perversion of the original Constitution. It's a faithful reading of it. And if that unsettles you, good. It should. Because we've spent centuries covering up that foundation with myth, pretending that the Constitution in its original form...
Nobody cares what your race is, except for the Nazis.
...held the promise of universal liberty. It didn't. It held the promise of white liberty, secured by black bondage. That didn't begin to change until the Civil War, 80 years later, generations later. And even then, not by amendment alone, but by body count. The Reconstruction Amendments were an attempt to shatter the racial...
We didn't do Reconstruction anywhere near as hard enough as we should have.
...foundations of the original Republic. The 13th abolished slavery. The 14th redefined citizenship. The 15th prohibited racial disenfranchisement. And they...
Oh, look, the ones they want to get rid of.
They eliminated the artificial political racism of the 3/5 clause. The United States had to be rebuilt to even begin to imagine a multiracial democracy. It took a second founding to challenge the first. the creation of a new republic. The war was not just about secession. It was a battle between those who believed this nation could become a democracy and those who fought to keep it a white supremacist republic. It's no coincidence that George Washington is literally at the center of the Great Seal of the Confederate States of America. Domsky sees that too. And the people who support him see that too. His nightmare is that the Reconstruction Amendments worked. That we might still, even now, finish what those amendments started.
Well, technically, yes. Realistically, probably not.
Fulfill the promise of the Second Republic. So, no, we don't share his solution, but we need to reckon with the same foundation. Because if we keep teaching the Constitution as a vessel of timeless liberty rather than a racial project that had to be torn apart to make liberty possible, we're not on the side of justice. We're just, laundering the past. So what Domsky has done openly, grotesquely, is draw a straight line between the Founders' Constitution and the white nationalist ideology still with us, still informing this country, still running this government. But he did it without the moral filter, without the patriotic polish, without the liberal soft lens. And while the backlash to his paper is legit, it's also a waste of time if it doesn't force us to confront the hard question, what if he's right about what the Constitution was built to be, what it was built?
This is why I don't want the old republic. I don't want to go back to where we were before Trump. That would be terrible. If we had a real election in 2028 and a Democrat won, any of them, even AOC, it would be worse. It would continue on this same course. People would stop paying attention. Literally, like I've said, when Donald Trump eventually dies from natural causes, so many people on the resist lib left they tune out. They don't care. They don't like Vance, but they don't hate him like they hate Trump. They'll be like, well, at least he's smart. At least he can talk. At least he doesn't wear a diaper. At least he's not orange. All they care about is Orange Man bad. Nothing else. None of this shit matters to them. They're not paying attention to it. They're watching on MSNBC. Speaking of, we're about to watch MSNBC because I'm curious what this is.
Thanks to body cam footage released by a federal court just this afternoon, we now know that the mayor of Newark was right when he said that arrest did not arise organically from anything that happened on the ground at that ICE facility. He said at the time that his arrest appeared to have been ordered specifically by top Trump officials in Washington. Well, now today we can see with our own eyes that appears to be true.
No, I got it. We're taking them right now. All right. Well, let me talk. This is bullshit. We've been waiting an hour now. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to take them right now. You think about this today? Okay. Come on. Okay, even though we stepped out, I'm going to put them in cuffs. We're for over an hour. And we have the right to be in there. All right, I'm cuffing them right now. All right. Guys, listen to me. We're going to walk out of the gates. I'm going to place the mayor in handcuffs, okay? We are arresting the mayor right now.
They got ordered to arrest the mayor and then did it. It's almost like a dictatorship. I mean, how we promised them stuff, we gave them nothing, and then we turned around and gave the plantation owners reparations. Yeah, should have given them a GI robot. I mean, that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, if Trump dies, Vance takes over, it gets worse. I say it too. It's so many people don't believe it because their only motivation is Orange Man bad. That's all they got. That's it. Nothing else. None of it matters to them. They don't care. They're not thinking of it. It's just Orange Man bad. Let's see. Get out of the United States. Start planning now. Consolidate. I'm curious. I've never seen this created before.
Get out. If you've got the means to do so, get out of the United States. All the signals are, pointing to the playbook, 1930s Germany. And the movie Snake Eyes. But I'm not joking. If you've got the means, get out or get mobile. reading between the lines. And
that's a great point. Reading between the lines. We don't do that anymore. I mean, like, we do. But I mean, like, as a society. We imagine that we get all of the information completely and in full via our doom boxes. We don't try and read between the lines. Is that Jack Black? It's not, but it kind of looks like him, and I fucked with it.
Analysing what's going on at the moment in the United States, all the boxes that have been ticked by the regime in the White House, it frightens me. I'm not even an American citizen. I live in France, for Christ's sake. And it worries the hell out of me.
Smart man. You should be fucking worried, because if America consolidates, the plan... Remember the plan I laid out? The Alexander Dugin one? The one that is almost certainly exactly what we are doing? Greater America, Greater Russia, Greater India, Greater China, and Greater Israel. That's the plan. And that plan does involve America and Europe. What grade level reading is between the lines? Well, I'll tell you what. The Bible is a, senior year. That is 12th grade. And the average American reads at 6. So I would say reading between the lines is 16. But, that's not even, a thing. Well, when you tell someone what that person is saying, they're like, oh, but that's not exactly what they said. Exactly. We're that dumb. There is a war on your intelligence. There has been for years, even. This exists to make you dumber. It functionally does. Go look at any study. We've been getting dumber for over a decade. And it's on purpose. The chatter earlier, when I said Nazis, he was like, what? You mean Germans? Probably a bot, but, real people say that shit, too. And, it's really hard to not get angry at just, how are you this dumb?
They're going to find that... they're in a very difficult situation. Now, Pete Hegseth he's called upon all the military top brass to convene in one place. It's like I can't even say it. But anyway, it gives a
Quantico, they're having that meeting tomorrow. We'll be curious to see what happens.
Okay. To convene in...
It really could be nothing. There is a reason convenience is pushed so hard on us. Exactly, Jet. Convenience is the weapon that they use against you. If it's convenient, pick the harder option. Convenience simplifies your brain. There is a reason why, think about it like this. If you use ChatGPT regularly, we know that you don't learn anything. Your brain has, 67% less neural connections made because you're not thinking, it's thinking. Now take that concept and apply it to literally everything else. Convenience is built in with that concept of you don't have to think. Someone will do the thinking for you. And then you just don't learn to think. You forget how to think even. Your brain is a muscle. You need to work out, exercise to keep it functional.
One place. Just to test their loyalty. Now, they've all pledged allegiance to the Constitution. But Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth doesn't want that. They want these top brass to pledge allegiance to Donald Trump. And if they say, I won't do that...
I don't know if that's what's going to happen. It might just be nonsense, but that is absolutely a possibility.
I don't know if you think, oh, crikey, I'm overreacting. But months ago I talked about this. I believe this is where we're heading, or you're heading, in the United States. And it affects everybody around the world, to be honest. But this schmarchism, it's a disease.
It's the zombie
And
virus.
that's exactly what their goals are. They want total, utter control of everything. And that includes you. They already want to control a woman's womb.
They already control almost everything and almost all of us. We all work for them. We're working for them right now. Every chat message you send works for them. Every word I say works for them. They benefit, they profit off of all of this. There are 50,000 people in the world that are responsible for 99.9% of all of the world's problems. 50,000. God, I really don't like Stalin, but he was right about one thing.
They'll be controlling your penises next. Wouldn't put it past them. Anyway. It is getting very dark. Very dark indeed. Now, in Italy, just recently, it's currently going on, there is something that no one is talking about. US media's not talking about it because they don't want you to know. There's a general strike. They're not happy with the government for something that they've been doing.
I've seen barely anything on this. I actually totally forgot. Let me see if I have something on it. Because there is a massive strike. In fact, the dock workers in Italy are full on, like, we will not touch any, like, weapon system at all. No weapons come through the docks. We are not doing it because they don't want it to go to Israel. A dock worker strike is not a small thing. Like, it is a big deal. And Hillary Clinton is just JD Vance wearing a skin suit, Ethan. So, like, be aware of that at the very least. So you don't get confused. Every time you see JD Vance, that's actually just Hillary Clinton. I promise you. I really, really do.
In fact, they've now put a boat out there to help. So people went on a general strike. So basically everybody, every workplace says, sod you, we're not working. And all the plutocrats say, oh shit, we're not making any money. So then they put pressure on the government. And that's what you're going to have to do. Because the government still requires money to function, whether they are a fascist government or whether they're not. It doesn't matter, they still require money. But this is exactly where you're heading. They're doing everything.
They're doing everything in order. Do you know how frustrating it is that everyone on Earth could pick up a book, find exactly where we are, go back and see every single thing they've done, and go forward and see every single thing they're going to do? In fact, there's more than one book. There's several books you can read that explain exactly what they're going to do and what they've done and why. But we don't know because no one can fucking read. We're so fucking cooked as a society. Project 2025, sure. Mein Kampf literally is another one. They're just doing the Nazi playbook. Way back, I'm gonna go check with people who think we have a chance fighting you're talking about. Good luck. Get them to leave if you can. Get a better chance. I mean, like, I'm kind of done for the day. I'm still not feeling great after, like, Frank, which sucked. But it was good to yell a little bit. I don't know if this is real or fake. I really, really would hope that it's real. I would assume that it's fake. North Korea threatened to nuke Tel Aviv if Israel killed Greta Thunberg. Would be fucking phenomenal. I don't think it's real. I've been trolling liberals on Blue Sky for the past hour. I keep telling them their leader failed them, and then they get pissy and call me a fash. That's because liberals are exactly the same as MAGA. It's just blue MAGA. They're even controlled by the same people. The algorithm that created blue MAGA is the same algorithm that created MAGA, QAnon. The liberals are just eating QAnon slop, but not putting the pieces together. Meanwhile, over here, I'm telling you that everything QAnon said is now real, but in reverse. They just did QAnon. Like the global cabal of pedophiles. I'm sure maybe they are trying to, I don't know, siphon adrenochrome out of children's heads. Who the fuck knows? The fascism, the deep state, the tech, like all of that is real. All of it. They just did it themselves. Again, it's the every accusation is a confession thing. Honestly, not a bad idea to start picking that up ourselves. We have to pivot. QAnon was telling on themselves. It was hyping each other up for the storm. And then it became about control. But, like, originally, yeah, it was telling themselves. Like, the thing is, it's also another book you can read to see exactly what they wanted, what they did, why they did it, and what they're going to do next. It's all laid out. Like, Mike Flynn was QAnon. It was Flynn, Bannon, a couple other guys. Like, it doesn't matter. These are the people all still being the propagandists. We're still doing it. Interesting. Now, hold on. I need to see this. What the fuck am I looking at? One second. Apparently, this guy found, Mike Johnson's Grindr profile. Not gonna lie, I truly do believe Q is a psyop for the people who were in. It's too close for it to have been insanity. No, you're right. It was. No, you're not wrong at all. QAnon was a psyop for the people already in MAGA. It was also a Russian psyop, specifically. It was CIA, Russia, Mike Flynn, military. Remember, Michael Flynn was at Fort Bragg, part of the PSYOP department. Like, literally, that was his job. He was a military PSYOP specialist. I was into it for a while at the beginning, but the LARP was too powerful. See, I dated a guy who was into it, and I made fun of him until it became ridiculous, and then, yeah. It was literally a Russian CIA PSYOP for the people already MAGA. Then it grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew. It started off one way. It actually started with MAGA 3X before that, which was their trial run. It's a whole complex thing. I've watched a doco on it before. I can see if I can find it.
Hey, here's a message for Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Pay attention, bud. This is for Mike Johnson. If you're not Mike Johnson, you can keep scrolling, or you can stay here and listen to what I have to say. Hey, Mike, you have until Wednesday to swear her in. Wednesday. Or I will release your Grindr profile and your IP address. I bring receipts, bitch. You're not going to sit there and actively work against LGBTQ rights and democracy.
Yes, thank you, Latino Mufune. The national argument needs to die. These people are a threat to humanity as a whole. Like, they will kill us all.
It is treason. Yeah, I'm calling you out for treason. You have until Wednesday to swear her in and let democracy take its course, or I will.
I don't even know what the fuck he's mad about.
Release your Grindr profile and your IP.
I just want him to release Mike Johnson's Grindr profile and his IP. That sounds funny. Why does he remind me of Steve-O? He does kind of sound like Steve-O.
Address connects both to you, Mike. The choice is yours. Do the right thing. Well, to say the last 24 hours has been stressful and chaotic would be an understatement. I have been talking with a lot of people, including a fantastic team of lawyers. And I want to assure everyone I am not a danger to myself or others. I am in a safe place. I have discussed this with other people. I am no longer the only person with this information. It is backed up multiple times. This in no way was a shakedown for anything.
That's the level of power they have. That guy was, I'll release your IP, I'll release your Grindr profile. Second video, this was not a shakedown event. Like, he got the FBI at his house. A mere Grindr profile got serious. Yeah, you know why? Because doxing, and doxing is considered terrorism. So he had the fucking FBI counterterrorism task force show up at his fucking house over that. That's what happened. So, you know. By the way, this is accurate. The FBI are not who he had to be. Well, I mean, yeah. It was probably the Secret Service, honestly. It was probably more so the IP address thing. Both because the Grindr profile would still be considered doxing, but yeah, the IP address as well. Like, the man had the feds show up at his house. I wish he had sent me that shit. They can't show up at my house. By the way, this is correct. The reason the right sees LGBTQ plus people, especially trans people, as degenerate freaks is because the only actual exposure they have to them is through fucked up porn that they secretly watch. It's true. True. Oh, by the way, from Crystal Ball, 4 hours ago, ICE smashed the windshield of a U.S. Army veteran, pepper sprayed him in the face, and then held him for 3 days with no phone calls, all because he was trying to go to work. George Retas Jr., 25, a U.S. Army veteran who works as a security guard at the Glass House Farms in Camarillo, California, said he had been trying to report to work in July as people protested an immigration sweep. He said that he tried to explain to officers that he was not involved with demonstrations and needed to get inside, but he received a conflicting instruction from the officers. He said he got back into his car, tried to reverse as some officers directed, but protesters were massing behind the vehicle. Federal officers then deployed tear gas into the crowd, broke his windshield, cast pepper spray on his face, and then took him into custody. As they're walking me away, I'm telling them I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm an American, I'm a veteran, I didn't do anything wrong, he said. He was held for 3 days without a phone call. But he said that it's backed up by someone. Does that mean he's still gonna have someone release it? He ain't gonna do shit. But maybe the other person will if they don't pussy out. I love this so much. Laura Loomer. Feeling sick tonight. I have respiratory infection. Seems to only be getting worse. Vaxxed? We got protests in New York. I'm not surprised after the announcements with Palestine today.
He is ex-IDF soldier, guys. We have an IDF soldier, guys. We have an IDF soldier.
IP doesn't matter. You can just get a new IP. Like, you can just change your IP address. That's not difficult.
Right here. IDF. IDF. Back to the IDF. Back there to the IDF. Oh, you was in the IDF too? You was in the IDF too? Yo, boy with the moon.
Glass house is within 20 miles of me? Yeah, that's where that happened. They are just laughing at their memes and meme lore. Yup, Sylvie, not a single person there is doing any direct action. Again, the main issue that I find with the protest is that people who go to the protest treat it as a social event. It's not a social event. You're going to battle, motherfuckers. Your job at the protest is to cause disruption, is to be on camera, getting the shit beat out of you, to cause public sympathy and optics wins. Your job is to fight on the front lines to protect the people who cannot fight for themselves. Don't go and be social. Don't bring your phone. Don't go hang out with your friends. Go and be part of the movement. That's why you're going. Not to hang out. Not to be, chillin'. Protests are political labor, not parties. I'm the one that can't protect myself. Help. You need community, Sylvie. You need people around you. Talk to your neighbors more if you can. Big recommendation is, like, if your neighbors might be a bit iffy, go and get some, like, cookies, some cupcakes, some croissants, something. Offer people free food when you knock on the door. They're much more likely to be chill with you. You're, gonna be like, oh, look, no one talks to each other anymore. We're all disconnected. Everyone's on social media. Use the rhetoric the right uses. It doesn't matter. Like, it's neutral at that point. And make friends. Gotta make friends. I need you to be aware. Like, it's gonna get bad, and it's gonna get bad for you, personally. Every single one of you are going to suffer some kind of hardship, and you need to take it seriously. They will shoot you while telling you to turn the volume down. I need you to ignore all of that rhetoric and continue doing what you're doing, because it's helpful. Teach people, talk to people, talk offline. Take the messages that we talk about here and bring them offline. Most of my neighbors seem rather nice. I live in an ethnically diverse, poor apartment complex. Ooh, that does not sound good. Make some friends and try and make some white friends. If you need to be Anne Frank, you need someone who can, be the people whose attic she was in. A common issue I have with some leftists in certain parts of the country is what to do when your neighbors are MAGA. You talk to them like normal. That's what you do if your neighbors are MAGA. You just talk to them like they're not. People online act entirely differently than they do offline. MAGA, it doesn't matter if you're a black man. MAGA person, knock on their door, you have some food for them. They're your friend now. These, especially the problem I have with the leftists who get mad about, oh, my MAGA neighbors. Your MAGA neighbors are retarded. Manipulate them. They're literally children in their brain. They have no critical thinking skills. They are led like sheep. So lead them like a sheep to, water instead of off a cliff. It's already been suffering. It's been a long decade or two, and it's going to get worse, mate, unless we do something about it. I mean, welcome to 1939. They're also starving for community. They've never known the touch of community that actually cares about them. Most people don't. We lost. That's what they took from you. This is what I mean by return with the V. That's what they stole from you. In-person social interaction. We functioned like that for all of human history until the Doom Cubes. And now we don't do that at all anymore. In my mind, I don't have MAGA neighbors or coworkers. They're just neighbors or coworkers. Good, based. Agree, one thing that tends to get to MAGA is talking about the elite. As long as you can connect the elite they're thinking of to the actual elite you're concerned about, we make progress. Exactly. Ty Soros, I don't give a fuck, Bill Gates, and then bring in Peter Thiel and Larry Ellison. They don't know who Larry Ellison or Peter Thiel is, so start complaining about Soros and Bill Gates, and then talk about how, the deep state has a deeper state. It's actually Larry Ellison and Peter Thiel. Go do that. Miss Streamer, how many more suffer before I get a treat? Is the head pats a treat enough? Capitalism is anti-human. That's true. You don't hate the Nazis enough. And the only way to get out of this is humanity. You're not shooting your way out of this, and you shouldn't anyway. Don't do violence. You're not voting your way out of this. Not a fucking chance. The only way you get out of this is by turning the people to your side. We're doing head pats now? The fuck do I know, mate? Shit's bad. What am I supposed to do? I'm just the streamer girl. I don't know. I can't give you anything. I'm also suffering. Broke bitch. Okay, I fight more. Thanks for the head pats. Please don't type like that. But you're welcome. I mean, I wouldn't mind a teddy bear. Build-A-Bear is expensive. I don't have one. What's going on here? Yeah, that's not post this. What's going on here?
It's really pathetic because there is no crime wave here, none. And they're here.
How you doing, sir?
Working for good. How about you?
Alex Jones' voice. The elites are puppeting our president. The elites are puppeting our president. They control the media. Peter Thiel and Larry. I can't even do it. I can't yell like him. They're turning the friggin' frogs gay. To be fair, they were turning the frogs, intersex and pansexual. So, you know, close.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are nice and everything, but we got a guy in the White House who was a jury convicted him of sex abuse of a 52-year-old woman in a department store dressing room. And he's the guy you guys are following orders from right now.
You don't have a smoker voice, even with smoking, so you can't really do Alex Jones. I know, it's weird. I smoked for 10 years. We appreciate the head pats, Visora. Oh my god. I'm my mommy now. Sorry, your voice isn't fucked up. You need to scream more and smoke more crack. Noted. Visora gotta be shirtless to pull off the AJ. I see what you're doing there. Nice try.
I know, you probably can't comment, I know. And like, I don't have anything against you. I have against people.
These guys don't want to be here. Your voice is unusually clean. That's good. I can do the voice, but it hurts. The little bit that I just tried to do hurt too. Like about okay. Anthony Albanese, Prime Minister of Australia, put out a memo regarding Trump and Netanyahu's deal. I want to see what it says. So, Australia welcomes President Trump's plan to bring peace to Gaza after almost 2 years, and I already want to smash my head against a wall. Australia has consistently been part of the international calls for a ceasefire, return of hostages, flow of aid to Gaza. I welcome the opportunity to discuss this plan with other leaders. Australia affirms its plan's commitment to denying Hamas any role in future governance in Gaza, calls on Hamas to agree to the plan, lay down its arms, release the remaining hostages, which are all dead. We condemn the plan's focus on Palestinian we commend the focus on Palestinian self-determination and statehood. Palestinian Authority taking back effective control of Gaza. President Trump's plan reflects a clear rejection of annexation forces waged on Palestinians. We acknowledge the diplomatic efforts to include Palestine. Yeah, look, this is all nice on paper. Did you hear the bit where Netanyahu was like, well, if Hamas doesn't agree to the deal, we're just going to take it anyway and destroy all of them. They've agreed to every deal. Every deal they've agreed to. I stole my buddy's ashtray and smoked one of his roaches. It had tobacco in it. Bro, tobacco's nasty as fuck. That is true. Oh, shit. Hold on, 1 second. Sorry about that. That was an important call I had to take. So, no. You forgot to mention his Builder Burger King globalists. They are the globalists. Most people smoke their roaches, but I didn't know he mixes tobacco into his joints. I think that's disgusting. So, you know, there's that. I haven't seen the video of Netanyahu marking off literally every country around them saying they're gone, they're gone, they're gone. I haven't seen that video, Sylvie. I once had a buddy who did gravity bong hits of tobacco. That's disgusting. Degenerates. Not in the good way. Like, I like good degenerates. I know you may have read and heard the Hamas agreed to a deal, but you may consider that both of your eyes and ears are anti-Semitic. Ah, yes, my optic nerve is anti-Semitic, Salamander Sapien. Yeah, there was nothing I said on that phone call that was important. That's why I kept the camera on. I know people can read lips. There was nothing important there at all. I said, could you call me back in a half hour? I'm on camera. What is going on here?
And if I don't steal it, someone else is gonna steal it.
No one.
If I don't steal it, someone else is gonna steal it? What the fuck?
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is gonna steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it, يا عمي. Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
it's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
You are stealing my house.
If I don't steal it, somebody else will. What the fuck? Israeli Economics 101. True. My mother threw my ashtray out and now I'm out. She can't just fuck with my shit. Oh, yes, she can. My parents used to fuck with my shit when I was younger, too. I had to literally put a bike lock on my shit. Like in my closet. Optic nerves absorbing Hamas propaganda. Oh, of course. I remember this dude, total piece of shit. Of course. What kind of logic is that? That's Israeli economics. People are bad at logic and some people are just evil. That person is just evil. I'm pretty sure he was marking off all the countries in his UN speech. Makes sense. I stole your house. But, like, that he's not even saying he didn't. I can't believe there are still Palestinians allowed in Israel. Well, you know, they do need somebody to... it's kind of like how, if like, Stephen Miller got his way, right? The white nationalists in America got their way. There would still be black people in America. Wait, your parents stole your weed? No, it wasn't weed. One example was, I was gauging my ears when I was younger. I had, what are they called again? It's been so long. Like, the stretcher things. The really long, like, earrings that, like, grow your, your earlobe. And Mom did not like that, and so she stole that. For one. It was mostly, like, don't be a degenerate type stuff. Though my parents did steal my weed. When I was younger, I got caught smoking weed with my parents. And they were pretty mad about that. And then a second time, I got caught again a few years later. And Dad actually took my bag of weed. It was like a dime bag or something. And months after that, this man, my father is so fucking smart. And it pisses me off. They're just gauges, but like, yeah, exactly. This man confiscated my weed and put it somewhere in the house. It was there for like months and months and months. And then I discovered it one day when I was just like walking around. I don't know. I didn't have any weed. I took it. I smoked it. Same fucking day, this man's like, you stole that weed. I'm like, you set a trap for me months ago? Are you kidding? But no, he was on point with that. You know, she threw my leftover non-filtered cigarettes out and I was using my pipe to save money. Yeah, guys, it's a good time to quit smoking, quit drinking, start exercising. Genuinely, go for a walk around your... Today, like, it is time to start exercising. If you're a homebody in America, you're basically dead. Get fit. And, like, disabled people, you can still exercise, just obviously to a different degree. Get you some resistance bands. They're helpful. And they come in different sizes for different strength levels. And you can do this at home. Get in shape. Even if you're disabled, it is kind of a death sentence to not be at this point. Alright, I will see you guys next time. I just told my parents I smoked because I don't give a fuck. I was like, hey, Dad, I smoke weed. I mean, I did that too. It was just after they caught me. I was like 14, alright? I'll see you guys next time. Join the Discord. Don't forget to like the stream. Stay safe. And if you can, fuck out of the country. If you had chats censored during stream today, please send them to me. I need that data. And I will see you all next time. Have a lovely evening.